Chapter 162. The angle of this attack was extremely tricky, specifically aimed at Lin Xian's vital points. If it hit, even if he survived, he would be half dead. Fortunately, Lin Xian's soul power was strong, and he sensed the danger immediately. Lin Xian moved almost at the same time as the young man made his move. He dodged quickly and left an afterimage on the spot. Puff! The golden snake sword pierced the afterimage and pierced through the air. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Lin Xian kept moving around the young man, leaving a golden shadow behind each time. You can't trap me. The young man was as steady as a rock. He pierced through the shadows like a poisonous snake. However, Lin Xian's goal was not to trap him. Even if the young man pierced through all the shadows, it was useless. Explode! Lin Xian shouted from afar. Rumble! The golden shadows were all condensed by golden thunderbolts, and they carried terrifying power. Now, with this explosion, everything within a radius of 100 feet was enveloped, forming a sea of lightning. Dozens of figures exploded. Golden waves rolled and swept in all directions. The young man was blown away, and his body was charred. Bang! He knelt on the ground in a sorry state. His hair was disheveled, and his face and body were charred. Brat, you've completely infuriated me. The young man looked cold, and his eyes seemed to be spitting fire. The sword mark on his forehead was about to be undone, and a terrifying aura was emitted from his body. Lin Xian's pupils shrank as he sensed a fatal danger. His soul power had touched the bronze gauntlet. If something went wrong, he would take action immediately. At this moment, a voice came from afar, and a figure rushed over. Stop! No fighting in the ancient city. This voice was like rolling thunder, shaking the void. When the nearby martial artists heard it, their faces turned pale, and they couldn't even stand steadily. Lin Xian operated his soul power and sword essence to clear the voice. At the same time, he was secretly on guard. Humph! The young man did not seem to have heard the warning and continued to attack. The golden sword light converged into a thumb-thick golden line, which quickly pierced towards Lin Xian's heart. Lin Xian activated the ancient armor on his body with all his might. At the same time, he quickly put on the bronze gauntlet on his left hand. However, before he could make a move, the situation changed drastically. The terrifying golden thread shattered into several pieces in the air. The young man's face was pale as he kept retreating. Lin Xian was astonished. Suddenly, he frowned as he felt an immense pressure. Whoosh! At some point in time, a figure had appeared between the two of them. Purple chi covered his entire body. It was as mysterious as the 9 heavens' purple chi. How dare you ignore my warning? The figure only said one sentence, and the sword mark youth opposite him began to vomit blood. Harmonious spirit realm, Lin Xian gasped. To have such power, it was most likely only a person in the 3 spirit realms. He put away the bronze gauntlets and stood there cautiously. The next moment, the purple figure looked at him. In an instant, his entire body trembled as if his soul had been struck. In his mind, the great dragon's sword seal vibrated and turned into a roaring dragon. A warm current instantly flowed through his entire body, allowing him to recover from that uncomfortable state. The purple figure was surprised. He did not expect Lin Xian to be able to resist. Just as he was about to make a move, 2 light figures rushed out from afar. Master, please calm down. 2 light figures, one red and one white, rushed forward and bowed to the purple figure. The 2 old men went forward and whispered to the purple figure. In the end, the purple figure snorted. Since it was your first offense, I'll let you go this time. If there's a next time, you'll be killed without mercy. Yes, Lin Xian said respectfully. On the other side, the sword mark youth also nodded unwillingly. Both of you have to compensate for the loss this time. In the cities of the Xia, no fighting is allowed except for specific battle stages. In the end, Lin Xian and the sword mark youth each paid a sum of spiritual stones and watched the master leave. The sword mark youth glared at Lin Xian with a gloomy expression. "Kid, consider yourself lucky. But you won't be so lucky next time. Next time, I'll kill you with my sword." Lin Xian's voice was as cold as the autumn scar sword. He didn't pay any more attention to the young man. Instead, he thanked the two elders. "Young friend Lin, we agree to your conditions. Why don't you take us back to the 1,000 Treasure Tower to rest?" "Thank you, seniors." Lin Xian did not refuse and left with the two old men. The sword mark youth also left with a gloomy face. The rest of the warriors also left one after another. However, they kept talking about the battle just now. The battle was too exciting. A warrior in the second tier of the spiritual sea realm fought against a warrior in the 5th tier. Treasured weapons, sword intent, and all kinds of attacks were endless. It was an eye-opener for them. After these people left, a green-haired man walked over slowly. He felt the aura around him and laughed sinisterly. Then he blended into the darkness again. Lin Xian followed the two old men back to the 1,000 Treasure Tower and thanked them again. "Seniors, I have a request," Lin Xian said. "Oh, let's hear it." "I wonder if the 1,000 Treasure Tower is heading to the Snow-Seeking Sect. I want to go with you." "That's easy. We'll leave in a few days." "You can come with us," the red-robed old man said. Lin Xian was overjoyed. After bidding farewell to the two old men, he returned to his room. After closing the door, Lin Xian let out a heavy sigh. Today's battle gave him a sense of crisis. Recently, he had been living more comfortably. After calming down, Lin Xian began to comprehend the Wind Emperor's sword and the Great Dragon sword seal. For the next few days, Lin Xian spent his time cultivating. During the day, he practiced and tried various sword skills. He learned many moves from the two inheritances and perfected them under the guidance of Lord Alcohol. When he was tired, he drank spiritual wine and cultivated the longevity art. At night, he learned inscriptions from Lord Alcohol. His days were very fulfilling. Today was the 5th day since he came to the 1,000 Treasure Tower. Today was the day that the 1,000 Treasure Tower set off. Lin Xian went out early to wait. He exchanged insights with Lord Alcohol about comprehending the inheritances while waiting. These days, he comprehended the Wind Emperor's sword and the Great Dragon sword seal whenever he had time. Finally, he evolved a few fierce sword skills. The most powerful one was the Wind Thunder Dragon Thrust. For this move, he combined the Wind Emperor's sword, the Great Dragon sword seal, and the Heavenly Meteor. Although it consumed a lot of spiritual power, it was much more economical compared to the Heavenly Meteor. Moreover, according to his calculations, this move could break through the defense of a martial artist at the 5th level of the spiritual sea realm. Just a few days ago, he couldn't break through the defense of the sword mark youth. Now he had absolute confidence. As he was thinking, a group of people walked over. Among them were two old men in red and white, a middle-aged man and a young man and woman. Among them, Lin Xian had seen the girl before. She was the beauty called Wei Wei. As for the young man, he stared at Lin Xian with a flicker of disdain in his eyes. With a sneer, he walked towards Lin Xian. Chapter 163. You're the inscription master that old Qiu and old Bai found. The young man stared at Lin Xian. You don't seem to be much? Lin Xian sighed and ignored him. Instead, he greeted the two elders behind the young man. Greetings, seniors, Lin Xian said with a smile. Little friend Lin, you're here so early, the white-robed elder said with a smile. Kiedu. The young man beside him was livid. He originally wanted to intimidate Lin Xian, but he didn't expect Lin Xian to ignore him. I'll let you know that not everyone can enter the 1,000 Treasure Tower. The young man roared in his heart. Lin Xian sneered in his heart. He didn't want to fight with these people. What he wanted most now was to reach the snow-seeking sect. "There's no time to lose. Let's go," the red-robed elders said. The few of them walked out of the 1,000-treasure tower. Lin Xian looked at the 2 chariots in front and was a little surprised. The simple patterns were made of black gold and were the size of a house. The demonic beast pulling the chariot was even more extraordinary. It was actually a 4-headed blood dragon horse. This was a powerful 4th-tier demonic beast with the body of a horse and the tail of a dragon. Its entire body was blood red, as if it could drip blood. Its blood was vigorous and comparable to a martial artist in the 4th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. "This 1,000-treasure tower is really generous," Lin Xian praised in his heart. This kind of thing wasn't something that an ordinary force could take out. And this was just the 1,000-treasure tower in the ancient city. Lin Xian didn't dare to imagine how powerful the headquarters of the 1,000-treasure tower was. 6 people, 2 chariots. The 2 elders and the middle-aged man sat in the front chariot, while Lin Xian and the 2 disciples of the 1,000-treasure tower entered the other chariot. Pum! After a moment, there was a sound. The bloody horned dragon horse let out a long neigh and dashed out. Its speed was frightening. Lin Xian estimated that at this speed, they could arrive in about 10 days. It was more than twice as fast as him traveling alone. "I'm Wei Wei. This is senior brother Liu Yang," the beautiful woman in the chariot said. There was a lot of space inside. Lin Xian and the other 2 each took a side. Seeing the beauty take the initiative to speak, Lin Xian also cupped his fists and smiled. "I am Lin Xian. It is my honor to meet the 2 of you." "Humph," the young man snorted. Lin Xian's face darkened slightly. He had never met this Liu Yang fellow, but the latter had always wanted to make things difficult for him. Lin Xian ignored him. Instead, he closed his eyes and began to practice the great dragon sword seal. These days, as Lin Xian continued to comprehend, he finally understood why the great dragon sword was called an offensive saint art. Fusing everything, evolving everything. With a sword in hand, all techniques could be broken. Lin Xian could now use the mountain-suppressing hand and lion's roar with his long sword, and its power was even stronger than the original version. Coupled with the effect of sword intent, his attack power had increased by leaps and bounds. Seeing Lin Xian closing his eyes, Liu Yang glared at him. He was a disciple of the Myriad Treasure Tower and a first-grade inscription master. He was a strong candidate to participate in the inscription tower. Just a few days ago, he heard that a kid suddenly joined the Myriad Treasure Tower and wanted to participate in the inscription tower competition. This was a threat to his position. The number of people participating in the inscription tower was limited. There would be a preliminary selection at the end, and only the winner could enter. But this kid in front of him could participate directly. How could he not be angry? "I want to see what ability you have." Liu Yang clenched his fists. However, Lin Xian never gave him a chance. After getting on the carriage, Lin Xian began to meditate with his eyes closed, comprehending the cultivation method. He did not have the intention to pay attention to the 2 at all. Liu Yang gnashed his teeth in hatred, but there was nothing he could do. He could not directly interrupt Lin Xian. If he did, the elders would not forgive him. The carriage moved forward quickly, as if it was flying. The next day, Lin Xian opened his eyes. He had encountered a bottleneck, and it could not be solved by comprehending. Putting down the comprehension of the great dragon sword seal, he took out a cup of spirit wine and drank it, then began to cultivate the longevity art. A wisp of wine fragrance spread out and floated in the carriage. Vivian and Liu Yang were both inscription masters. After sensing this wine fragrance, their faces changed. Such rich spirit qi. The grade of this spirit wine must be very high. Vivian blinked her big eyes and looked at Lin Xian curiously. At the side, Liu Yang's eyes became even more gloomy. How can this kid have this kind of spirit wine? He could not figure it out and was a little mad. After 2 hours, Lin Xian opened his eyes. The spirit qi in his body was abundant, and he would soon break through to the 3rd level of the spiritual sea realm. At that time, even if he met the sword mark youth, he had absolute confidence to defeat him. Junior brother Lin, the grade of your spirit wine must be very high. You didn't refine it yourself, right? Vivian asked with a smile. How could it be? This was refined by my master. Lin Xian shook his head. Since everyone is free, why don't we test what we have learned together? Lu Yang saw the opportunity and hurriedly said, Sure, I happen to have some doubts recently, Vivian said seriously. Junior brother Lin, what about you? Lu Yang asked. Because Lin Xian was the youngest. Both of them called him junior brother. Lin Xian smiled lightly. Sure. Lu Yang was overjoyed. As long as Lin Xian dared to agree, he was confident that he could humiliate Lin Xian. In his opinion, Lin Xian was just a young boy. What could he know? Lin Xian sneered in his heart. Of course, he knew Lu Yang's intention, but he was fearless. After practicing for so long, he could take this opportunity to test it out. Then the 3 of them began to discuss, from the initial medicinal materials, pharmacology to the effects and methods. Everything was involved. Lin Xian learned inscription knowledge from Lord Alcohol, so this content was not difficult for him. On the contrary, he could often come up with some unique ideas, which broadened the horizons of the other 2. Vivian's face was flushed red with excitement. She had solved all the problems that had plagued her for days. Lu Yang's face was gloomy. Not only did he not make things difficult for Lin Xian, but he also had some questions that he could not answer. The corner of Lu Yang's mouth twitched slightly as he went crazy. Humph, you talk so nicely, but who doesn't know these theories? The key to becoming an inscription master is refining. Do you dare to compete? Lu Yang was furious. He swore that he would humiliate Lin Xian. He guessed that Lin Xian must have a good master to be able to learn such knowledge. However, Lu Yang was not willing to admit defeat. He had the advantage of age. In terms of refining techniques and proficiency, Lin Xian was definitely inferior to him. Sure. Lin Xian was still calm and unhurried. Keep pretending, keep pretending. I'll make you cry in a while. Lu Yang sneered in his heart. He moved his finger and drew an arc in the air. A shining inscription appeared in the air. The whole process was smooth and without a pause. Good technique. Lin Xian smiled. It seemed that Lu Yang had some skills and was not a talkative person. Lin Xian immediately made his move. His finger danced in the air. 3 vortex runes appeared in the air, forming the shape of a triangle, like 3 blooming lotuses. 3 flowers gathering spirit. Lu Yang exclaimed. Lu Yang's eyes were filled with shock. His lips trembled and he was speechless. The 3 lotus-shaped inscriptions rotated in the air, forming a vortex of spirit power. In the carriage in front, the red-robed elder felt the change in spirit power behind him and suddenly opened his eyes. Chapter 164. The old man in the red robe opened his eyes in shock. He slowly spread out his soul power to check the situation behind him. When he saw the 3 flowers gathering spirit drawn by Lin Xian, his eyelids twitched fiercely. This kid is really surprising. The old man in the red robe was full of expectations for the upcoming battle of the inscription tower. In the carriage, Lu Yang kept pinching his thigh to wake himself up from his dream. This can't be real. This can't be real. However, reality was like a basin of cold water that woke him up. Finally, Lu Yang let out a heavy sigh. You win! He finally knew why Lin Xian could directly participate in the inscription tower competition. His method was way beyond theirs. Junior brother Lin, can I ask you a question? Vivian blinked her big eyes and asked. Of course. Senior brother Lu Yang can also participate. Lin Xian said lightly. He was not a narrow-minded person. Lu Yang was taken aback. He gave Lin Xian a deep look. Then the two began to ask all their questions. Lin Xian answered them one by one in great detail. Lu Yang was shocked. He thought that Lin Xian was just joking. He did not expect that Lin Xian would help them so wholeheartedly. This made him feel a little embarrassed. At this time, the carriage slowed down. Lin Xian opened the window and looked out. Outside, the wind and snow fluttered. The snow was wrapped in silver, and the goose feather heavy snow fell from the sky. As far as the eye could see, the whole world seemed to have turned into a monotonous white. We have entered the snow province. Lu Yang looked out of the window and said, on the snowy ground, the carriage might be slower. This was relative. Lin Xian estimated that even this speed was faster than him traveling alone. Putting down the curtain, Lin Xian entered the state of cultivation again. Half a day later, the carriage stopped completely. "Let's rest for the night and continue tomorrow," the old man in the red robe said in a deep voice as he looked ahead. Lin Xian and the other two got out of the carriage and suddenly felt a gust of cold wind, as if it was going to freeze them into ice. Fortunately, I am wearing a bearskin coat. Otherwise, I would have to use my spiritual energy to protect my body. Lin Xian exclaimed in his heart as he felt the cold air between heaven and earth. Everyone found a place to shelter from the wind and snow, and then pulled the carriage over. Wang, the red-robed old man's hand trembled as he formed a formation that enveloped everyone. Suddenly, the cold wind and snow were all blocked outside. The formation was not supported by manpower. The red-robed old man only needed to place some mid-grade spirit stones, and the formation would automatically defend itself. Everyone tidied up the food and prepared to eat. Most of these people were inscriptionists, so they naturally would not mistreat themselves. The middle-aged man flicked his finger, and a furnace appeared. 2 firebirds were engraved on the furnace, and they were surrounded by raging flames as if they were alive. Bang! The half-meter-tall furnace fell to the ground, causing the earth to tremble. A wave of heat spread out, and everyone felt much warmer. Lu Yang and Vivian began to take out the cut demon beast meat and roast it on the stove. The sky gradually darkened, and the snowstorm outside grew heavier. Moreover, the snow at night was not white but blue like crystals. Lin Xian and the others began to rest and busy themselves with their own things. Suddenly, everyone opened their eyes. Among them, the white-robed old man and the middle-aged man were not inscriptionists, but their cultivation was the highest, reaching the 7th sky of the spiritual sea realm. The rest of the people were all spiritual tattooists with powerful soul power. At this moment, all of them frowned. This was because they could sense a powerful force approaching them at a rapid speed. Could it be him? Lin Xian frowned, and the figure of the green-haired man appeared in his mind. No, there is no evil aura. He quickly denied it. Circulating his soul power, Lin Xian used purple spiritual eyes and looked into the distance. Soon his pupils shrank and he stood up. Wolves! Lin Xian took a deep breath. The others also sensed it, and they were all shocked. Among them, the white-robed old man said in a deep voice, "This is the Ice Wolves bandits of Snow Province. They are extremely cruel. You must be careful. Can't we escape with the blood dragon carriage?" Lu Yang's voice was trembling. "On the snow! Nothing can outrun the snow wolves." The white-robed old man shook his head. Figures appeared beside them. It was a pack of snow wolves, and each of them was more than 2 meters long. Their green eyes were like 2 ghost fires that kept jumping. Behind them, there were more snow wolves approaching, but there were people sitting on those wolves. Huge, burly men in animal skin coats stared coldly at Lin Xian and the others with a fierce face. "We are from the 1,000 Treasure Tower. May I know why you are here?" The middle-aged man stood out and said in a deep voice, "Haha, so it's a friend from the 1,000 Treasure Tower. You must know the rules of the Ice Wolves bandits. Leave the horses, money, treasures, and women. The rest can get lost. This group of burly men was very arrogant and did not give face to the 1,000 Treasure Tower. This was a group of lunatics who did not give face to anyone. Even the disciples of the snow-seeking sect were robbed. So there is no room for discussion. The middle-aged man's voice gradually turned cold. They were from the 1,000 Treasure Tower, and no one dared to provoke them outside. How could they endure this kind of humiliation? There is nothing to discuss. Brothers, charge! With a command, countless snow wolves pounced. The defensive array buzzed and trembled nonstop. Ripples appeared in the surroundings, and it looked like it was about to shatter. Gather together, don't scatter. Everyone, break through together. The white-robed old man said in a deep voice. Rumble! The defensive array shattered, and the wolf bandits rushed in. Humph! The middle-aged man attacked mercilessly. An earthy yellow palm that was dozens of meters tall pushed out horizontally. Everywhere it passed, countless blood wolves and bandits turned into a bloody mist. The power of a martial artist at the 7th layer of the spiritual sea realm was extremely terrifying. Let me fight you! An angry voice sounded from behind the wolf bandits. A huge, burly man suddenly jumped up, and his long saber slashed down like a rainbow. The saber light that was dozens of meters long cut through the sky and slashed down at the crowd. Air waves rolled on both sides, and the cold wind blew in reverse, whistling nonstop. The middle-aged man threw out a punch to welcome the resplendent saber light and engaged in a fierce battle with the wolf bandit leader. Hee, who wants to play with me? A sinister voice sounded, and another wolf bandit at the 7th layer of the spiritual sea realm walked out, holding a blue long whip in his hand and laughing cruelly. The white-robed old man gave some instructions to the crowd and then went forward. The battle between 4 martial artists at the 7th layer of the spiritual sea realm was shocking. Just the aftermath of the battle made everyone's heart tremble. Lin Xian and the rest kept retreating. They were already surrounded. Go! With the wolf bandits' command, countless snow wolves pounced forward. Break through them! The crowd didn't want to be separated, but there were too many snow wolves, and they broke through in an instant. Lin Xian pulled out the Autumn Scar sword and attacked. He used the Phantom Thunder Steps and shuttled through the wolf pack, thrusting out his long sword continuously. Every sword took the life of a snow wolf. Every sword was fatal and accurate. Soon, dozens of snow wolves fell beside him, and blood dyed the ground red. Kid, you are looking for death! A loud shout came from the crowd, and a bald man with a huge saber slashed at Lin Xian. Chapter 165. The newcomer was very ferocious. His body was covered in flames, and his spirit energy condensed into a dragon, charging towards Lin Xian. The wild blade slashed down, and the blade light was like starlight shining in the air. A martial artist in the 4th sky of the spiritual ocean realm. Young friend Lin, be careful! In the distance, the red-robed elder saw this scene and wanted to rush over to help. However, his opponent was very powerful, holding the red-robed elder back. Vivian and Lu Yang were also very anxious, but they were also surrounded by the wolf bandits and couldn't get away for a while. Lin Xian's body moved erratically, and he quickly dodged the star-like blade light. Don't worry, I can handle it. He transmitted his voice to everyone. Hee, kid, you seem to be very important. The bald man sneered. If I kill you, I wonder how sad they will be? This group of wolf bandits was very ferocious, and they took pleasure in killing people. Lin Xian had no sympathy for this kind of people. His eyes became sharp, and his body flashed, creating dozens of illusions. This was the power of the Phantom Thunder Steps when he mastered it. Each of the illusions could be passed off as real, and people couldn't tell the real from the fake. The 2nd sky of the spiritual ocean realm, Too weak. Die. The bald man swung his blade, and the blade light that was dozens of meters long slashed out, covering all the illusions around him. Pung, 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 pung. With one slash, more than half of the illusions were destroyed. Petty tricks. Watch how I kill you with one slash. The bald man laughed loudly. Is that so? A faint voice came from behind the bald man. What? The bald man was shocked. He didn't see when Lin Xian ran behind him. Blade Ring Mountain. The bald man gritted his teeth and roared. Countless streams of saber qi shot out from his body, instantly forming a hazy mountain that stood behind him. At the same time, he quickly turned his body, wanting to cut Lin Xian under his blade. Puff! The bald man was just about to move, but his body suddenly stiffened. The sword tip that was as cold as autumn water pierced through his heart, causing blood to splatter everywhere. No, impossible! How could you break through my defense? The bald man's voice became softer and softer. Finally, his head tilted and he fell to the ground. Until his death, he still didn't believe that a martial artist at the second sky of the spiritual ocean realm could break through his defense. The power of the wind lightning spike is greater than I imagined. Lin Xian took off the bald man's storage ring and charged into the pack of wolves once again. Awoo! Wolf howls rang out, sounding desolate. Everyone turned around and saw the bald man lying in a pool of blood. What? Aguang is dead. Who killed him? The group of wolf bandits fell into a frenzy as they all looked at Lin Xian. It's you. A martial artist in the second sky of the spiritual ocean realm. How is it possible? Countless wolf bandits shouted crazily. In the distance, Lu Yang and Vivian also exclaimed in surprise. They looked at Lin Xian as if they were looking at a monster. Brat, how dare you kill a member of our Ice Wolf Regiment? Die! A strong man with 2 hammers in his hands was riding a snow wolf as he quickly rushed over. The green wind under Lin Xian's feet spun, and his body turned into a gust of wind, drifting around. His footwork was unconstrained, and there was no pattern to it. Ding! 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 A series of sparks flew out, followed by the dense sound of metal clashing. Countless sword shadows appeared in front of the strong man, forming a sword curtain. Shocked, he used his hammers to protect himself. At the same time, the snow wolf he was riding on launched an attack. Whoosh! Whoosh! Its sharp claws were waving, tearing the air apart as it clawed at Lin Xian. Puff! A shadow was clawed and exploded, turning into spiritual power and disappearing. Lin Xian's real body had already retreated to the back. With a shake of his wrist, several 10-meter-long sword qi shot out. Golden snake travel. This was the sword technique used by the Sword Mark Youth, and now it was used by Lin Xian. After comprehending the great dragon sword print, Lin Xian's attack was ever-changing. The sword qi in the air turned into giant pythons, pouncing forward. Awoo! The snow wolf that the strong man was riding on roared, spitting out a cloud of icy mist which was extremely cold. The golden snake, formed by the sword qi, clashed with the mist, causing an explosion. The horrifying energy spread out in all directions. Ah! In the distance, Vivian screamed. Her sleeve had been cut open. The wolf bandit she was fighting against was a perverted man. His beady eyes were staring at Vivian's body. Little beauty, I will let you have your fill in a bit. Ha ha ha. The surrounding wolf bandits also laughed maniacally. Shoo! He waved the red spiritual whip in his hand again, drawing a weird arc in the air and tearing Vivian's dress apart. Vivian was terrified as she screamed and kept retreating. Kid, all of you have to die. The strong man stared at Lin Xian and grinned. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly. His sword intent surged, and the aura on his body became extremely cold. Shoo! His body turned into a beam of lightning as he flew out quickly, approaching the strong man instantly. The autumn scar sword was pulled out quickly, and a dragon roar was heard. Who? A golden sword light flashed, lighting up half of the sky. Who? Lin Xian flashed his body, passing through the strong man and running toward Vivian. Behind him, the strong man raised both of his hammers in the air, and his pupils gradually enlarged. All of a sudden, a trace of blood appeared in between his eyebrows, and then blood poured out. Boom! His entire body, along with the snow wolf he was riding on, died instantly. His body was split in half, and he fell onto the ground. Wind style! The air moved, and a sword light suddenly flew out from behind the perverted man. The perverted man, who was flirting with Vivian, suddenly changed his expression. He released his spirit power, forming a spirit power armor. Boom! The sword light landed on the armor, tearing open a horrifying crack. Hee, you can't break it. Before he could finish, the sword light flashed again, and a golden sword light surged, attacking like lightning. Pooh! The perverted man's head flew into the air and was thrown far away. The surrounding wolf bandits all backed off crazily, their eyes filled with fear. Thank you, Vivian said while trembling. Here. Lin Xian took off his white bear coat and threw it to Vivian. Then he turned around and roared at the wolf pack that was running toward him. Mad lion roar. The sound wave vibrated, and with Lin Xian as the center, it quickly spread out. Within the formless sound wave, there was a sharp sword intent, forming a horrifying killing move. Pooh! 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 All the snow wolves and wolf bandits that came in contact with the sound wave had their bodies split open, as if they had been pierced by thousands of swords. However, it was not over yet. Lin Xian flashed again and arrived near Lu Yang. Junior brother Lin. Lu Yang's face was filled with joy. He had seen Lin Xian's attack just now. As long as Lin Xian made a move, his life would be saved. Shoo! Lin Xian's body flashed, and he arrived beside Lu Yang, pulling out his autumn scar sword. Wind Thunder Sword Wave. This move was a sword skill that he had created by imitating the Mad Lion roar. Originally, with his strength, he would not be able to create a sword skill. But with the great dragon sword print, everything became possible. With Lin Xian as the center, a ring-shaped sword pattern rippled in all directions. Ripples appeared in the air, spreading out like water ripples. From afar, it looked like a golden ripple. Everything that came in contact with it was cut in half. As the sword was waved out, silence reigned. Dozens of snow wolves and wolf bandits were killed at the same time. Their bodies were cut in half, twitching nonstop. Chapter 166. Lin Xian brought Lu Yang back to Wei Wei's side, and then he looked at the battlefield in the distance. Two of the battles were between martial artists at the 7th level of the spiritual ocean realm, and he could not get close to them. The other one was where the elder in red was fighting. He was fighting against 3 martial artists at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean realm, and the battle was extremely intense. Some of the snow wolves were fighting against the 2 bloody dragon horses, while the rest of the bandits were rushing towards Lin Xian and the others. Save the bloody dragon horses first, then help the elder in red. Lin Xian made up his mind. Holding the autumn scar sword, he turned into a flash of lightning and rushed up. At the same time, at the border of the snow province, a blue-haired man appeared out of nowhere. He slightly closed his eyes, as if he was sensing something. After a while, he suddenly opened his eyes, and a wicked smile appeared on his face. His body shook, and the blue-haired man disappeared from where he was standing. On the snowy land, the cold wind was blowing. Lin Xian's body was like a ghost as he shuttled between the snow wolves and the bandits. The long sword in his hand was stabbing out at an even faster speed. Pooh! Pooh! Blood splashed everywhere, and bodies fell down one after another. The bandits backed off in fear. That seemingly random sword would take away a life every time. This was no longer a battle, but a harvest. Yes, a harvest. Lin Xian was like a harvester, harvesting their lives mercilessly. These people all had the urge to curse in their minds. They were the bandits, okay. And now, their identities seemed to have been switched. The prey had become the killer, and they could only run. Wind-splitting movement. The sword light shone, and the air seemed to have been torn apart. The dozens of people in the front were torn apart by this power, turning into minced meat. Lin Xian came to the front of the bloody dragon horse and killed the snow wolves around it. The two bloody dragon horses were covered in blood, with horrifying wounds on their bodies. One of them could not hold on any longer and was about to die. Lin Xian sighed and threw all the demon crystals in the snow wolves' bodies to them. Then his body shook, and he ran towards the elder in red. You are looking for death. The three men besieging the red-robed elder had long noticed Lin Xian's presence. However, in their opinion, killing the red-robed elder was more important. And now, Lin Xian was running towards them. How could these people not be angry and die? A one-eyed man wielding a long spear turned around and thrust his spear at Lin Xian. The space shook. The spear light of the spear was Lin Xian was piercing towards Lin. This one-eyed man's strength had reached the peak of the fourth layer of the spiritual ocean tier, which was similar to the young man of sword mark. If it was a few days or not, Xian days, it was Lin Xian's. But now he was. The spiritual energy in his body surged, and Lin Xian's speed suddenly exploded as he flew to the side. Boom! The thick Lin Xian of the dragon in the martial. Lin Xian's eyes flashed as he continued to observe with his purple spirit eyes. At the same time his sword will gushed out, raising his combat strength to the maximum. Sword intent. The one-eyed man was shocked. No wonder you can kill so many people. You are a genius who has comprehended sword intent. Then I can't let you live. The one-eyed man gave up on the elder in red and rushed towards Lin Xian. After knowing Lin Xian's strength, the elder in red didn't worry too much. He attacked the two people in front of him with all his strength. But when Wei Wei and Lu Yong saw this, their hearts skipped a beat. That was a martial artist close to the fifth sky of the spiritual ocean realm. Could Lin Xian really deal with him? They couldn't help, so they could only watch from afar. Sweep the world. The one-eyed man held the spear in one hand and swept it out. The blue Lin Xian of formed a violent storm. Whoosh! Whoosh! Everywhere it passed, a thick layer of frost was formed, emitting a horrifying chill. Ice attribute. Lin Xian's pupil shrank, and he kept retreating. In this world of ice and snow, ice attribute martial artists could definitely explode with super powerful battle power. No wonder this person is only at the fourth sky of the spiritual ocean realm and can participate in the attack on the elder in red. Lin Xian's face was serious. The elder in red had the cultivation of the sixth sky of the spiritual ocean realm. Kid, in here, my attack power is equivalent to a martial artist in the fifth sky of the spiritual ocean realm. You can die in peace. Lin Xian didn't dare to be careless. This one-eyed man's strength was beyond his expectations. Ice attribute martial artists had the ability to slow down and cause frostbite. If he was hit, it would only get worse. Thinking of this, his whole body released golden lightning, as if he was the god of thunder. It's useless, the one-eyed man sneered, and the long spear in his hand kept stabbing out. Whong, whong, whong. Every spear was filled with the power of ice, resonating with the surrounding heaven and earth. The cold air in the surroundings quickly condensed and gathered on top of the spear, forming a huge ice pillar. Boom! Lin Xian held his sword and flicked it upwards. The Autumn Scar sword was like a golden lightning, cutting the huge ice pillar in half. As expected of the sword intent, It is indeed sharp, the one-eyed man sneered, and his left hand grasped in the air. Piercing ice spear. The cold air on the ground surged, forming a blue ice spear under Lin Xian's feet, and suddenly pierced out. Lin Xian's body flashed, leaving behind a shadow while his real body escaped into the distance. Shoo! 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 After the ice spear pierced through Lin Xian's shadow, it didn't stop there, but shot out like an arrow. At the same time, the one-eyed man stomped his feet, and the whole ice surface started to shake. Welcome to the ice prison. Pung! Pung! The ice surface shattered, and two huge ice hands grabbed onto Lin Xian's feet. The horrifying cold air rushed into his body. Cut! Hundreds of sword chi shot out from Lin Xian's body, tearing the ice apart. He stabbed out with his sword, which clashed right onto the tip of the ice spear. With a twist of his wrist, the autumn scar sword formed a whirlpool, shattering the ice spear. Kid, you're pretty good. Why don't you join our ice snow group? The one-eyed man yelled. Sorry, I'm not interested. Lin Xian's pupils turned purple. This was the sign of his purple spirit eyes being pushed to the extreme. What last words do you have? Say them. What? The one-eyed man froze for a moment, then laughed out loud. Kid, is your brain frozen? In this ice world, you can't even get close to me, not to mention killing me. The one-eyed man's face was full of disdain. Really? Lin Xian's lips curled up. Piercing ice spear. You think you can just shout and it will appear? This is an ice elemental martial art. The one-eyed man was even more disdainful. He even thought that Lin Xian was an idiot. However, in the next moment, his face changed drastically. A dangerous aura came from under his feet, as if it was going to tear the ground apart. Impossible! The one-eyed man almost roared out. Although he didn't believe it, he still retreated quickly. In the distance, Vivian and Lu Yang were shocked. Could it be that Lin Xian really knew ice elemental martial arts? But he was obviously a thunder elemental martial artist. The two of them were very confused, but they could only watch carefully. Seeing the one-eyed man retreat, Lin Xian smiled. Welcome to the ice snow prison. These words were exactly the same as what the one-eyed man said. Even the tone was the same. Kid, you're looking for death. Do you believe that I won't tear you apart? The one-eyed man was very angry. He thought that Lin Xian was playing with him. But soon he realized that he was wrong. The ground suddenly split open, and two large golden hands firmly grasped his feet. Chapter 167. Two large golden hands reached out from the ice and firmly grabbed the one-eyed man's feet. This scene was very familiar. Not long ago, the one-eyed man had used the same martial art on Lin Xian, and now Lin Xian was returning it to him. Impossible. This is impossible. How can you know an ice element martial art? The one-eyed man yelled crazily with a trace of madness in his eyes. Ice element martial art. In the distance, Lu Yang and Wei Wei both had strange expressions. Junior brother Lin is using thunder. Why did the man say it was an ice element martial art? Could it be that the man was scared stiff? The two were confused. Lu Yang looked at the one-eyed man carefully, and his pupils suddenly shrank. Look at his eyes. Lu Yang whispered to Wei Wei. Vivian also let loose a cry of surprise upon seeing this. The one-eyed man's undamaged eye was now purple, as if it was a dream or an illusion. Is this a mental illusion? Lu Yang took a deep breath. How powerful is junior brother Lin's soul power? In the distance, on the battlefield, Lin Xian's lips curled up. He had indeed used thunder to simulate the previous scene. However, he had secretly used his purple spirit eyes to hypnotize the one-eyed man. In the one-eyed man's eyes, the ice spear was blue in color, and the spiritual hands that had trapped him were also ice element martial arts. He had completely lost himself in the illusion. Boom! Lin Xian stomped his foot on the ground and dashed forward. In a flash, he had arrived in front of the one-eyed man and pulled out the autumn scar sword in his hand. One-eyed! A loud yell came from behind. It was like thunder exploding in the air. The one-eyed man's body shook, and he recovered from the illusion. At this moment, a sword light flashed and enveloped him. As an ice element martial artist, the one-eyed man exploded with a powerful force at the last moment. A huge ice wall rose from the ground and blocked in front of him. At the same time, rows of ice spikes shot towards Lin Xian. Chi! Chi! The sword light flashed and cut everything in half. The one-eyed man retreated as fast as he could, but he was still one step too late. His left arm was cut off by the sword chi and blood flowed out. Golden electric arcs exploded at the wound, producing a terrifying destructive power. Freeze! The one-eyed man crazily circulated his spirit energy and sealed half of his body. A layer of blue ice continued to spread and froze the wound. It continued to extend and form an ice soul left hand. Brat, I'm going to tear you to shreds. No one can save you. The one-eyed man's voice was cold, and his eyes were like a demon's. The ice around him shattered, turning into pieces of icicles that floated around him. He was infuriated to the extreme. The one-eyed man had never suffered such a loss before, and his opponent was actually only a brat at the second layer of the spiritual ocean realm. You think you still have a chance to live? Lin Xian sneered, the purple light in his eyes flashing again. An invisible soul power rushed out and directly attacked the one-eyed man's soul. For a moment, the one-eyed man held his head and screamed. Whoosh! The autumn scar sword slashed out once again. The air was sliced open as the sword chi of wind and thunder turned into a long dragon, piercing towards the one-eyed man's heart. Puff! The sharp edge of the sword sliced through the spirit energy armor, sliced open the inner armor, and pierced into his heart. Plop! The cold body fell down. Lin Xian waved his hand and took away the one-eyed man's storage ring. In the distance, Lu Yang and Wei Wei were shocked. The two bandits that were attacking the red-robed elder roared in anger. Even the martial artists at the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean realm in the distance noticed the situation here. Boom! One of the bandits at the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean realm threw out a blade light at Lin Xian. The blade chi swept across the sky. The 10-meter-long blade chi was like a long rainbow as it slashed down. Lin Xian's pupils shrank as he quickly ran away. Rumble! As the blade chi fell, a horrifying crack appeared on the ground, spreading into the distance. Lin Xian's face was a bit pale. Although he didn't touch the blade chi, the wind brought about by it still made his chest feel stuffy. This was the power of the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean realm. It was far from what a 4th or 5th layer martial artist could compare to. Fortunately, the bandit leader only slashed out once before he was entangled by the middle-aged man from the 1,000 Treasures Tower and couldn't attack again. Lin Xian let out a sigh of relief. He still couldn't resist a martial artist at the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean realm. However, before he could relax, a strong sense of danger surged into his heart again. It was as if a cold and greedy gaze appeared behind him. Lin Xian's scalp went numb, and all the muscles in his body tightened. He spread out his soul power and looked around cautiously. Needless to say, the one who could give him this feeling was definitely the mysterious, green-haired man. As expected, in the distant horizon, a figure quickly flew over. The snow on the ground quickly scattered to the sides, and a deep trench appeared on the ice, spreading towards Lin Xian. Who? In a moment, the green-haired man arrived nearby. A cold and dark aura quickly spread out in all directions, making people tremble uncontrollably. Pum! 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 The two sides that were fighting stopped and looked at the green-haired man in the field with vigilance. Lin Xian's body stiffened. He secretly circulated his spirit power to the extreme, and at the same time prepared the bronze gauntlet and the yellow talisman treasure. As long as the situation wasn't right, he would immediately attack with all his strength. The feeling the green-haired man gave him was even more terrifying than a martial artist at the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean realm. This wasn't the suppression of spirit power, but the throbbing of the soul. The green-haired man took a deep look at Lin Xian, and his green eyes emitted light. He didn't attack immediately, but picked up the one-eyed man's corpse on the ground. Kacha! He bit the one-eyed man's corpse and kept sucking. In the blink of an eye, the blood essence in the one-eyed man's body was quickly drained, and he finally became a dry corpse. Plop! The green-haired man threw the one-eyed man aside, and then looked for the corpse on the ground again. Whoosh! Whoosh! The 3 experts from the 1,000 Treasures Tower came to Lin Xian's side and protected him. Lu Yang and Wei Wei also ran over, looking at the green-haired man with fear. Who? 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 The green-haired man's hair shook, and his 3,000 strands of black hair quickly became thick and long, spreading out in all directions. The ends of the hair transformed into green snakes, which were ferocious and terrifying, and pounced on the corpses on the ground. Puff! Puff! The sky full of green hair flew, and all of them pierced into the corpses around, and began to crazily absorb the blood essence. How dare you touch the corpses of my ice wolf pack? You're courting death! The 2 wolf bandit leaders at the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean realm were furious and attacked one after another. A saber-light that was dozens of meters long quickly slashed out, cutting the air into 2 halves. The other person waved his spirit whip, which turned into a dragon in the air and pounced over with bared fangs and brandished claws. The green-haired man smiled cruelly and reached out with both hands. 2 green lights flickered, condensing into a bronze coffin in the air, suppressing the surroundings. Boom! 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 The 3 energies collided, and a shocking, destructive aura erupted. A green-black mushroom cloud rose, followed by a terrifying energy ripple that spread out in all directions. Retreat! The middle-aged man and the white-robed elder led Lin Xian and the others, turning into a bolt of lightning and retreating quickly. Whoosh! Dozens of strands of green hair shot out from the explosion, attacking Lin Xian. Chapter 168. Black strands of hair rushed towards Lin Xian in a frenzy, piercing through the void. The middle-aged man and the white-robed elder attacked together, releasing a vast amount of energy to block the strands of hair. Pooh! 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 Like a piece of cloth being torn apart, the protective light screen was penetrated. The 3,000 strands of hair turned into sharp swords and pierced straight towards them. Seniors, I need to borrow your strength. At the critical moment, Lin Xian shouted. The ancient armor on his body shone brightly, and an illusory shadow appeared with complicated inscriptions on it. The middle-aged man and the white-robed elder looked at Lin Xian in surprise, then injected their spirit power into the armor's shadow. Wang. After receiving the power of 2 martial artists at the 7th sky of the spiritual ocean realm, the ancient armor shone brightly. The materialized shadow continued to spread, finally forming a bell-shaped defense that enveloped everyone. Clang! 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 The strands of hair collided with the bell-shaped defense shadow, producing a clang. Although they didn't penetrate the bell-shaped defense, the huge impact still sent everyone flying far away. We're saved! The few of them landed on the ground, feeling like they had just survived a disaster. Lin Xian frowned deeply. The strength of the green-haired man was beyond his imagination. If he had acted alone, it would have been dangerous. However, before Lin Xian and the others could relax, The strands of hair turned into spiritual snakes and attacked again. From the sky to the ground, from all directions, they pounced on Lin Xian and the others. They had no choice but to work together and form the bell-shaped defense again. Suddenly, Lin Xian's heart skipped a beat. He sensed that the mysterious green egg in his storage ring was shaking more and more violently. Is it going to crack? Lin Xian was puzzled. Xiao Xuanzi, I have a way to suppress that person, but it's too dangerous, Lord Alcohol transmitted. No matter what, we have to try. Lin Xian gritted his teeth and said he didn't want to live in danger all the time. After making his decision, Lin Xian prepared to take action. Seniors, you all go first. Lin Xian instructed before rushing forward. His speed reached an extreme, leaving behind a trail of light in the air. Lin Xian quickly took out the green egg and held it in his arms. Whoosh! Whoosh! The 3,000 strands of black hair sensed the aura of the green egg and turned into a square midway, abandoning the 1,000 treasure tower and the others, all charging towards Lin Xian. The expressions of the white-robed elder and company changed. They saw that Lin Xian was about to be pierced, but they were powerless to do anything. Phantom Thunderstep! Lin Xian shouted in a low voice. His body turned into hundreds of light shadows and scattered in all directions. For a moment, the sky and the ground were filled with Lin Xian's illusions. Puff! Puff! The 3,000 strands of black hair were like long spears, piercing through these afterimages at lightning speed. Lin Xian's true body quickly approached the azure-haired man. He wanted to use Lord Alcohol's powers to seal the azure-haired man. 500 meters, 300 meters, 100 meters. Lin Xian's figure flashed continuously, and finally he was only 10 meters away from the azure-haired man. A black vortex appeared out of thin air in front of him. It spun rapidly and emitted a devouring force. At that moment, the green egg in Lin Xian's arms emitted a cracking sound. The eggshell cracked open, and a furry little thing crawled out. It was only the size of a palm, and its body was covered in snow-white fur as it curled up. A gust of cold wind blew past as the little thing opened its eyes in a daze. Its big black eyes were like black gemstones as they shimmered with light. Wuji! Wuji! The little thing called out to the two in a daze before grabbing Lin Xian's clothes and crawling. Lin Xian was stunned. The azure-haired man opposite him was also stunned. Inside the mysterious sword, Lord Alcohol exclaimed softly and stopped moving. The black vortex in front of him became smaller and smaller before disappearing into the air. Lin Xian stared blankly at the palm-sized monkey in his arms as his brain short-circuited. A monkey can appear from the green egg? Lin Xian realized that his outlook on life had collapsed. The snow-white monkey clung tightly to Lin Xian as it emitted wuji sounds. It was extremely adorable. Looking at the snow-white monkey, Lin Xian recalled the few monkeys that had given him the green egg. These monkeys looked similar, but Lin Xian's was smaller. Rubbing his head, Lin Xian cautiously looked at the azure-haired man in front of him. The azure-haired man looked at the snow-white monkey with a puzzled expression. But more than that, he felt fear. He's actually afraid of this monkey? Lin Xian was greatly surprised. The snow-white monkey seemed to sense the azure-haired man's gaze as it slowly turned its head. One of its paws grabbed Lin Xian's clothes, while the other grabbed onto its eyelids. It made a face at the azure-haired man. So, a green light flashed by, bringing with it a gust of wind. The azure-haired man in front of him seemed to have seen something terrifying as he immediately fled. That kind of speed made one stunned. Lin Xian took a deep breath as he stared blankly at the little thing in his arms. All along he thought that the azure-haired man treated the green egg as life essence and wanted to seize it. But today's situation made him change his mind. The azure-haired man was scared away. This kind of thing was too inconceivable. So. Figures quickly rushed over from afar. Lin Xian put away the broken eggshell and let out a sigh of relief. Are you all right? The red-robed old man and the others asked in concern. Lin Xian shook his head. Thank you, seniors, for your concern. I'm fine. Where's that person? Lu Yang asked with lingering fear. Gone. Lin Xian let out a breath and said fiercely. Hearing this, they all let out a sigh of relief. Among them, the middle-aged man and the white-robed old man looked to the side. There, 2 wolf bandit leaders in the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean tier stood awkwardly with wounds of various sizes on their bodies. Around them, there were countless corpses, some of which had already dried up. The 2 wolf bandits glared fiercely at Lin Xian and the others, then quickly left. The cold wind whistled and snow fell. The surroundings became silent again. There was a faint smell of blood in the air, reminding everyone of what had just happened. Wuji! Wuji! The snow-white little monkey hung on Lin Xian's body and cried pitifully. What a cute little monkey! Vivian saw it and forgot the fear in her heart. Can I hug it? Vivian's eyes were twinkling. Lin Xian was stunned and nodded blankly. Vivian picked up the little monkey with a smile on her face. Old Bai, what should we do now? Lu Yang asked. They couldn't do it here. The smell of blood would attract some demonic beasts in the ice field. Everyone came to the chariot and found that the injured, bloody dragon horse was already dead. The other one knelt on the ground and kept whining. Without the bloody dragon horse, our speed will be much slower, the red-robed old man said with a frown. If you want to find someone to pull the chariot, I might have a way. Lin Xian touched his chin and said. Everyone turned to look at Lin Xian. Now, no one could ignore Lin Xian's opinion. His previous performance was too stunning, and everyone was stunned. I might be able to tame a few snow wolves and let them replace the bloody dragon horse. The red-robed old man and the middle-aged man looked at Lin Xian in surprise, not believing him. Although inscription masters had strong soul power, they were not beast tamers. Without special techniques, they couldn't tame demonic beasts. Could Lin Xian be a beast tamer? They all had strange expressions. Chapter 169. The red-robed elder and the other 2 were suspicious, but Lu Yang and Vivian exclaimed, Yes, junior brother Lin knows illusions. He can definitely tame the snow wolves. Lu Yang shouted. Lu Yang then told them about the battle between Lin Xian and the one-eyed man. If that's the case, we can give it a try. The white-robed elder said. After that, Lin Xian and the others caught a few snow wolves and let Lin Xian try taming them. Purple light flickered in his eyes, and an invisible soul spirit seeped into the snow wolves' minds. When the purple spirit eyes reached the 3rd level, it was possible to use a secret technique that could control souls. With the help of the great dragon sword seal, Lin Xian quickly placed a slave seal in the snow wolves' minds. The snow wolves were tamed by Lin Xian, and they surrounded Lin Xian, wagging their tails. They were amazed, and their understanding of Lin Xian increased again. With the snow wolves, the carriage's speed increased, and it only took them 5 days to reach Ice Snow City. Lin Xian sat in the carriage with his eyes closed, and the little white monkey was lying on his shoulder. Lu Yang and Vivian were injured, and they were also quietly recovering. Lin Xian was the first to wake up. He spread his soul power into the storage ring and began to tidy up the spoils of war. Most of the storage rings were filled with spirit stones, elixirs, weapons, and martial arts, but Lin Xian didn't care about them. After a quick calculation, there were about 200,000 low-grade spirit stones and some recovery elixirs. After putting away the storage rings, Lin Xian took out a blue ring, which was the one-eyed man's storage ring. I wonder if there are any ice martial arts. Lin Xian was looking forward to it. Using his soul power, Lin Xian sensed an independent space the size of a room. There were 5 big boxes, and all of them were filled with low-grade spirit stones. Lin Xian sensed that there were about 100,000 spirit stones in each box, and there were a total of 500,000 low-grade spirit stones. Lin Xian sighed. The one-eyed man's identity must be extraordinary. In addition to the low-grade spirit stones, there was also a box of mid-grade spirit stones, about 10,000 pieces. Lin Xian secretly swallowed his saliva, feeling a surge of excitement in his heart. Mid-grade spirit stones were much more precious than low-grade spirit stones. 1 mid-grade spirit stone could be exchanged for 100 low-grade spirit stones. However, under normal circumstances, no martial artist would exchange mid-grade spirit stones for low-grade spirit stones. Spirit stones contained in mid-grade spirit stones were relatively pure spirit stones. Not only Spirit Sea Realm martial artists could absorb it, but also martial artists of the 3 spirit realms. Although they still had to be refined, it was still much better than low-grade spirit stones. Therefore, the value of the 5 boxes was much higher than the 5 boxes of low-grade spirit stones. These bandits must have killed a lot of people after robbing so much wealth. I'm doing the people a favor. Lin Xian shook his head and sighed. Plundering was indeed the fastest way to gather wealth. There were other things, other martial arts, martial arts, martial arts, martial arts, martial arts, martial arts, and Lin Zer's is, and He Shui's. He Xian Zen. Found it. Lin Xian's eyes lit up as he stared at a cultivation technique manual. Ice Snow Mystic Art. It's actually a low-grade spirit tier art. Lin Xian was surprised. He didn't expect the one-eyed man's art to be so high level. Luckily, I have purple spirit pupil and can use illusions. Otherwise, it would definitely be a fierce battle. Lin Xian was right. Although the one-eyed man's cultivation was at the peak of the 4th layer of the Spirit Sea Realm, he wasn't weak at all compared to martial artists at the 5th layer of the Spirit Sea Realm. Especially in this world of ice and snow, normal martial artists at the 5th layer of the Spirit Sea Realm wouldn't dare to provoke him. This was a martial art for cultivating spirit power. Although Lin Xian couldn't cultivate it, he could get inspiration from it. He had the Great Dragon Sword seal and could completely evolve it. Moreover, the art of longevity he cultivated was even more extraordinary and could transform into any attribute. Memorizing the ice snow mystic art, Lin Xian followed the instructions and circulated his spirit power. A wisp of cold air overflowed from his palm. He placed his hand on the chair he was sitting on, and instantly a layer of frost spread at a speed visible to the naked eye. The snow-white little monkey shook its body and curled into a ball, lying on Lin Xian's shoulder. Lu Yang and Wei Wei were also awakened by the cold air and looked around in bewilderment. Finally, Lu Yang pulled the curtains tight to prevent the wind and snow from coming in, and then closed his eyes to adjust his breathing again. Lin Xian didn't say anything, but continued to comprehend the Great Dragon Sword seal, and at the same time quickened his familiarity with the ice attribute martial art. With the ice attribute martial art, his battle strength could be improved again. Time passed quickly, and in the blink of an eye, for days had passed. During this time, Lin Xian's cultivation broke through again, reaching the 3rd layer of the Spirit Sea Realm. Compared to Lin Xian's terrifying attacks, his cultivation didn't attract the attention of others. However, if they knew that Lin Xian only used a little more than a month to go from the 2nd layer of the Spirit Sea Realm to the 3rd layer of the Spirit Sea Realm, their hearts would probably jump out. As everyone knew, the higher one's cultivation was, the harder it was to improve. A normal martial artist would need about a year to go from the 2nd layer of the Spirit Sea Realm to the 3rd layer of the Spirit Sea Realm. Of course, if one's cultivation method was high level or had the help of medicinal pills, this time could be cut in half. However, no one could be like Lin Xian, who only used a little more than a month. Seeing that they were about to arrive at Ice Snow City, Lin Xian didn't comprehend other martial arts, but worked hard to consolidate his own realm, allowing his body to quickly adapt to the cultivation. After a day, he opened his eyes. Outside the carriage, the snow wolves slowed down. Lin Xian opened the window and looked ahead. A huge black shadow appeared in front of him, like a huge mountain, occupying the land of ice and snow. That's Ice Snow City, the largest city in the Snow Province, and also the city closest to the snow-seeking sect, Wei Wei said, looking into the distance. The two carriages moved slowly and gradually arrived at the city gate. Two black iron gates, more than 10 meters tall, were emitting a cold light. 2 rows of guards stood on both sides of the gate. Their auras were powerful, and there was a faint, murderous aura. Lin Xian was surprised. The cultivation of these guards were all above the Spirit Sea realm, which was far from what the cities in the Cloud Province could compare with. After paying the spirit stones, Lin Xian and the others entered the city. The streets in the city were very wide, more than 10 meters wide, and there were countless shops on both sides. Although the weather was cold, the city was full of life. Hawkers could be heard everywhere, and most of them were selling delicious food. As pedestrians walked by, the tempting aroma hit their noses. Lin Xian and the others' carriages moved slowly on the street. 6 snow wolves led the way in front, looking mighty and extraordinary. Which force is this, to be able to tame snow wolves? A martial artist was surprised. All the martial artists in the Snow Province knew that snow wolves were demonic beasts that were very difficult to tame. Other than the Ice Wolves bandits, very few people could tame them. And now, someone was using snow wolves to pull a carriage. Under the envious gazes of the crowd, the 2 carriages drove into the distance. Someone went to the battle stage. Just as the crowd was envious of the snow wolves pulling the carriage, a martial artist shouted from afar. Immediately, the surrounding martial artists all moved and rushed inside. Lin Xian and the others were curious, so they got off the carriage and asked, "Brother, what happened?" Wei Wei asked. When the martial artist saw that it was a beauty, he laughed and said, "You guys just entered the city, right?" A large number of martial artists have entered the city these days, and there are often competitions. This time, it's said that the geniuses on the Hidden Dragon list are going to fight. The martial artist said and left in a hurry. "Let's go and take a look," Wei Wei said excitedly. Chapter 170. Lin Xian and the rest of the young people were quite excited about the Hidden Dragon Rolls competition. They came to the 1,000 Treasure Towers stronghold in Ice Snow City. Lin Xian and the other 2 went to the battle stage in the city. There was no need to ask anyone. They just had to follow the crowd. Ice Snow City was huge. They walked for a long time before arriving. There was an arena that was dozens of meters long in front of them. It was crowded with people, and there were cheers from time to time. Lin Xian and the other 2 were in the crowd and looked at the arena. There were 2 martial artists fighting fiercely on the arena. The vast spiritual power vibrated, and the momentum was shocking. Both of them were experts on the Hidden Dragon Roll. They had all kinds of unique skills. It could be said that it was a fierce battle. Until the end of the battle, the crowd was still not satisfied. Lin Xian also had some gains. He had a new understanding of some martial arts. After the 2 of them left the arena, another person quickly went up. It was a skinny young man. His eyes were as sharp as a knife. "Song Bao, it's Song Bao!" Someone in the crowd exclaimed. Lin Xian squinted his eyes and looked at the skinny young man. He knew this person. He was a disciple of the Tsang family in Guangning City. He was Tsang Lei's brother and the top expert in Guangning City. Whoosh! Another figure went up the arena. It was a young man with a pale face. "Let me see how strong you are," the young man said. "Tong Chin, you're no match for me." Song Bao's voice was cold with a trace of contempt. "We'll know after we fight." Tong Chen's eyes shone. Tong Chen, it's him? His injuries have healed. Some of the surrounding martial artists cried out in surprise. Many martial artists knew the geniuses on the hidden dragon role very well. Those who did not know quickly found out about the feud between the two after asking around. Suddenly, many people were very excited. This was a fated battle. Humph! A sick person dares to fight with my brother? He's courting death. In the crowd, Tsang Lei sneered. The disciples of the Tsang family behind him also booed and hooted. On the other side, the disciples of the Tong family did not dare to show weakness and retaliated. Fight! 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 The surrounding cultivators shouted one after another. Their voices were like a tide, causing the void to tremble. In a pavilion far away, some of the older generation members of some forces were also paying attention. The elders of the Tsang family looked at the battle stage with proud smiles on their faces. Bow! Ari's cultivation has improved again, and he has reached the 5th level of the 7-layered Thunder Blade. He already has the power to be ranked in the top 40 of the Hidden Dragon rank. Tong Chin can't compete with him. Humph! It would be best if we could heavily injure that brat from the Tong clan and break the Tong clan's hopes. A bearded elder snorted. In another direction, the elders of the Tong clan were also watching. Chin, Ai's body has just recovered. I'm afraid it will be a little difficult for him to make a move now. Many elders were worried. The head of the Tong family sighed. Chinner has been bedridden for half a year and has long been dissatisfied. How could he let go of this opportunity? I hope Chinner can win. The elder of the Tong family prayed in his heart. On the battle stage, Tsang Bao sneered. We're no longer on the same level. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. After saying that, he stomped his foot and a powerful force burst out from his body. Blue lightning flashed, and spiritual power swept out in all directions like lightning. Tsang Bao's presence was much stronger than Tsang Lei's, and he was at the late stage of the 4th level of the spiritual ocean realm. Another thunder element martial artist. Lin Xian's eyes flashed as he used his purple spirit eyes and looked at the stage. Take one of my attacks. Tsang Bao shouted as the long blade in his hand slashed out like lightning. Like thousands of lightning bolts, the 10-meter-long blade light turned into blue lightning and struck down. Star Scar Sword Art. Tong Chen's pale hand moved quickly, and the long sword formed a starry curtain in the air, which was extremely bright. Rumble! The blade chi slashed on the starry curtain and made a rumbling sound. Ripples appeared on the colorful starry curtain, as if it would break at any time. Luckily, the starry curtain successfully blocked the blade light. Since the first attack failed, Tsang Bao attacked again, and Tong Chin also counterattacked fiercely. The blade light was like lightning, and the sword chi was like stars. The spiritual power in the air shook, and the rumbling sound was endless. The two's speed was extremely fast, leaving behind afterimages on the stage. Some of the weaker martial artists couldn't even see their movements clearly, and only a few could keep up with them. Lin Xian's eyes flashed purple as he saw the two's movements clearly. He sighed slightly. Tong Chin is going to lose. Lu Yang and Wei Wei's soul power was extraordinary, so they could see the situation clearly. Wei Wei was confused, but I think they are evenly matched. Yeah, at least Tong Chin is not losing at all. Lu Yang was also confused. Some of the nearby martial artists heard Lin Xian's words and turned around. When they saw Lin Xian's cultivation at the 3rd sky of the spiritual ocean realm, they all shook their heads and sneered. How could a martial artist at the 3rd sky of the spiritual ocean realm understand the situation on the stage? He probably couldn't even see the two's movements clearly. Kid, don't talk nonsense if you don't understand. Can you see the situation on the stage clearly? Yeah, even we can't see it. What can you see? The martial artists all laughed. Humph. Lu Yang snorted and looked at the crowd with an unfriendly expression. He slowly spread out his soul power. A faint pressure appeared in the air. The crowd trembled and felt an indescribable pressure. Forget it. Lin Xian waved his hand. Lu Yang glanced at the crowd again and withdrew his soul power. So scary. What just happened? Why do I feel like my body is trembling? Some of the martial artists looked at Lu Yang in fear. They had never cultivated soul power, so they were naturally no match for Lu Yang. However, what made them even more terrified was that this person who made their hearts palpitate actually listened to a martial artist at the third sky of the spiritual ocean realm. And this martial artist, they were just laughing at him. Who the hell is this kid? The crowd looked at Lin Xian and felt a chill down their spine. Lin Xian ignored the crowd and said indifferently, "One is attacking and the other is retreating. Tong Chen's aura is weaker than his. Plus, he has been suppressed for a long time. I'm afraid he will feel defeated." Secondly, their strength was on par half a year ago, but Tong Chen was sick for half a year while Tsang Bao was improving every day. The gap between the two is bigger than expected. Thirdly, Tong Chen's star defense consumed too much spiritual power. I'm afraid it can't be maintained for a long time. But Tsang Bao's saber technique is like thunder in the clouds. The further it goes, the more powerful it is. Lu Yang and Wei Wei suddenly realized that they only saw the surface and didn't see too much. On the other hand, not only had Lin Xian grasped the two's martial techniques and cultivation, he had even taken into account their mentality and emotions. What kind of terrifying eyesight was this? The surrounding martial artists couldn't help but nod. They were even more curious about Lin Xian's identity. Sure enough, a moment later, there was a shocking change on the stage. The five-colored star finally couldn't hold on and was cut in half by the saber. Tong Chen flew out with blood at the corner of his mouth. Haha, Brother Bao is mighty. The disciples of the Tsang family shouted and cheered. As for the Tong family, it was silent. Their faces were filled with unwillingness. Tsang Bao's attack succeeded, but he didn't stop. Blue lightning flashed and turned into a dazzling saber light, slashing at Tong Chen, who was on the ground. No! The disciples of the Tong family shouted crazily. Chapter 171. The change in the arena caused an uproar among the martial artists. The disciples of the Tong family shouted angrily, but there was nothing they could do. Tsang Bao was too powerful. He was so powerful that they could not resist. In the pavilion far away, the elders of the Tong family were shocked. The master of the Tong family leaped up, and his aura exploded like a flood. However, Tsang Bao's blade was too fast. They were too far away and did not have time to attack. They could only watch. The blade radiance was like lightning as it slashed down mercilessly. Lin Xian remained calm. He flicked his finger, and a wisp of cold air with a trace of sword essence shot out. At the same time, a white feather flew out from another direction toward the arena. Boom! 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 Frost's sword finger collided with the blade radiance and quickly froze. The sword essence destroyed the blade radiance. Swoosh! The white feather was like a sharp arrow. It collided with the lightning blade radiance and created a shock wave. A ball of energy exploded, and a strong wind swept out. Everyone retreated, afraid that they would be affected. Lin Xian's eyes flickered with purple light. He saw someone running up the arena, and he knew that person. He immediately calmed down. The light dissipated, and everyone looked over eagerly. On the stage, a young man dressed in white had appeared out of nowhere, looking very elegant. Tong Chen's face was pale, and he was in low spirits. The opponent that he had originally suppressed had now completely surpassed him. This change was something that he could not accept for a moment. In the pavilion far away, the elders of the Tsang family snorted when they saw this. The disciples of the White Feather sect are really meddlesome. The Tong family's kid is lucky to have avoided this. A few elders sneered. Song Bao's strength has improved greatly. I wonder if he can defeat this opponent? The eyes of the Song family's grand elder flickered, and he was looking forward to it. However, I seem to have sensed another person's attack. On the other side, the elders of the Tong family heaved a sigh of relief. Their hearts that had been hanging in the air also settled down. It's fine as long as Tong Chin is fine. Xiao will be able to catch up. The master of the Tong family looked at the battle arena with a trace of doubt in his heart. Just now, I clearly felt an icy intent. Could it be that someone is secretly making a move? As a harmonious spirit realm warrior, his perception was far superior to a sea of soul realm warrior. Just now, he clearly felt two different forces colliding with the Thunderblade, but he couldn't find the source of that force. Suddenly, he saw Lin Xian in the crowd. Could it be him? The head of the Tong family was shocked. Other than the White Feather sect of the Qing province, only Lin Xian could stand up for the Tong family. The head of the Tong family took a deep look at Lin Xian before slowly sitting down. On the battle stage, the white-clothed young man stood in front of Tong Chin and said in a deep voice, "Aren't you a little too ruthless?" When sparring, it's inevitable to make mistakes. Isn't it normal to get injured? Song Bao sneered. Anyway, he has been lying in bed for half a year. Even if he lies in bed for a few more days, there's nothing wrong with that. You! Tong Chin was so angry that his body was trembling. He clenched his fists so tightly that his fingernails dug into his flesh. Blood flowed down his palms. The disciples of the Tong family were furious. They cursed and scolded, but no one could defeat Song Bao. This made them feel very frustrated. This guy is really arrogant. In the crowd, Vivian said angrily. Lu Yong was puzzled. He felt Lin Xian's attack just now, and that chi made his heart tremble. Could it be that the Tong family is related to him? Do you want me to help? Lu Yong asked tentatively. No need. Just watch. Lin Xian shook his head. The White Feather sect should be able to handle it. Just as Lin Xian and the others were talking, the battle stage changed again. Tong Chun walked down the stage with a lonely face, while the white-clothed young man was going to compete with Song Bao. Haha, Wen Su, your ranking is mine. Song Bao laughed wildly. Wen Su, he is the white feather-flying Wen Su. He's an expert ranked 47th on the Hidden Dragon list. The surrounding warriors were in an uproar. Song Bao had threatened to kill Wen Su. What an arrogant attitude. Although Song Bao's strength had increased greatly, his ranking was still in the 60s. Now he was going to challenge Wen Su, who was more than 10 ranks above him. This was definitely going to be an earth-shattering battle. As you wish. Wen Su was dressed in white and looked extraordinarily handsome. He had an additional white feather in his hand, and his aura had become ethereal. Ha! 7-layered lightning blade. Song Bao roared as lightning surrounded his body. Countless bolts of lightning spread through the air and struck down continuously. Lightning flashed across the sky, producing rumbling sounds. The air was filled with a dangerous aura. Lin Xian exclaimed softly. He carefully sensed the lightning in the air, and there was a hint of surprise on his face. What a pure power of lightning! Lin Xian exclaimed in his heart. This is nothing. I'll teach you a lightning Dao martial technique. I guarantee that you'll leave him in the dust. Lord Alcohol said disdainfully. Really? Lin Xian was delighted. He had asked Lord Alcohol for a martial technique more than once, but he had been rejected because his cultivation level was too low. Now, Lord Alcohol had taken the initiative to teach him. Humph, you have the Wind Emperor's sword. If you don't have the corresponding Lightning Dao martial technique, your wind and lightning power will be incomplete. Lord Alcohol revealed the truth. I see. Lin Xian was enlightened as he calmly received Lord Alcohol's guidance. While Lin Xian was learning the martial technique, the two in the arena had already exchanged dozens of blows. Song Bao's saber technique was as fast as lightning. Every strike was like a lightning dragon, causing the air to explode. As for Wen Su, he was like a small boat in a sea of lightning. He was constantly swaying as though he would capsize at any moment. However, he managed to dodge every single one of them without any mishaps. Whoosh! The white feather in his hand flew out and pierced through the void, heading straight for Song Bao's glabella. The air was torn apart like a piece of cloth. Song Bao slashed out several times, forming a resplendent saber beam that struck the white feather. Ka! 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 The white feather looked weak, but at that moment it was like a divine arrow, shattering the lightning saber beam. Lightning sky strike! Song Bao slashed out again, causing blue light to illuminate the surroundings. A large blue bird formed from lightning flew out from the saber. With a flap of its wings, it released countless lightning bolts. With a long cry, the lightning bird flew towards Wen Su, while Song Bao shot out like a bolt of lightning. Pung! The white feather pierced through Song Bao's afterimage and crashed into the ground. A thumb-sized black hole appeared. It was completely intact and bottomless. In another direction, the lightning bird pounced towards Wen Su like a lightning mountain. Pooh! Pooh! Wen Su's spiritual energy trembled as white wings condensed behind him. With a flap of his wings, he flew out. Hua! Could this be the white feather sect's secret technique? White feather spreading wings. Everyone exclaimed. Lu Yang and Wei Wei sighed. With such a secret technique, one could fly for a short period of time. This was something that all Sea of Soul realm warriors dreamed of. Flying was a skill that only warriors above the 3 spirit realms could possess. And no matter who it was in the Sea of Soul realm, having the ability to fly was no different from having an additional layer of protection. Lu Yang looked towards Lin Xian, only to find that the latter's eyes were slightly closed as if he was asleep. He didn't pay attention to the situation on the arena at all. At that moment, Wen Su's voice rang out on the arena. Let's settle this in one move. Chapter 172. The white feather behind Wen Su vibrated and floated in the air. He took out a feather fan, and an invisible aura rose from his body. White feather kill. Wen Su fanned the feather fan in his hand, and a blinding light lit up. The surrounding clouds tumbled and shot into the sky. The shadow of a giant bird emerged from the sea of clouds. It flapped its wings and swooped down. 7-layered thunder blade, 5 blades in one. Song Bao also used his strongest attack. The thunder and lightning blade cut through the void, splitting everything. It carried an endless murderous aura as it slashed forward. The 5 dazzling blade lights merged, and the entire void trembled. It was as if the sky had split open, and it made people's hearts tremble. Rumble! A loud sound reverberated through half of Ice Snow City. The weaker martial artists nearby were all pushed back by the force, and some even suffered internal injuries. Lu Yang and Vivian conjured up a light barrier that enveloped Lin Xian as well. In the distance, the elders of the Song family all stood up and looked at the arena nervously. The group of martial artists also steadied themselves and craned their necks to look. Song Bao's face was a little pale, and his chest was heaving up and down. Obviously, this move had consumed a lot of his energy. On the other side, Wen Su landed on the ground with a complicated expression. Who won? Everyone was curious. Vivian looked at Lin Xian and sighed. If Lin Xian was watching the battle, he would definitely be able to tell. However, he closed his eyes and remained silent. A piece of sleeve fell from the sky like a large snowflake, pure white and flawless. That seems to be Wen Su's sleeve. Finally, someone said with a trembling voice. What? Everyone was shocked and looked carefully. Sure enough, They found that when Su's sleeve was missing a piece, you won. When Su sighed and turned to walk down the battle arena, "Brother Bao is mighty, Brother Bao is mighty!" The disciples of the Tsang family all shouted loudly, and their faces were full of pride. Everyone was shocked, and they were even more afraid of Tsang Bao. If there were no accidents, Tsang Bao's ranking would definitely be in the top 50 or even top 40. The elders of the Tsang family heaved a sigh of relief, and their eyes flickered. If everything goes smoothly, our Tsang family will soon become the #1 family in the Qing province. The few elders were excited. Tsang Bao walked off the stage and did not continue the competition. He needed a good rest. However, the Tsang family didn't stop there. Tsang Lei's face was full of arrogance. He jumped directly into the ring and shouted, "Last time I beat up a few people from Yunzhou, but they were not convinced. Now I'll give you a chance. I'll stand here and wait for you Cloud State warriors." Tsang Lei's words were insolent and arrogant. Everyone was silent. Tsang Bao's performance just now made them not dare to offend the Tsang family's disciples. The surrounding martial artists had strange expressions on their faces. Many of the newcomers did not know what was going on. I don't know why the Tsang family is targeting the warriors of the Cloud Prefecture. In the past few days, many warriors of the Cloud Prefecture have been injured by the Tsang family. So that's how it is. After understanding the situation, many people had sympathetic looks on their faces. The disciples of the Tang family all had gloomy expressions. They knew that the reason the Tsang family did this was because of Lin Xian. If Big Brother Lin was here, they wouldn't dare to be so arrogant. Tang Yu's face was full of anger. The disciples of the Cloud State in the crowd had bitter expressions. They did not understand why the Tsang family would target them. In the pavilion far away, the elders of the Tang family also sighed and shook their heads. The Tsang family's power has been established. I'm afraid we're in danger. Not necessarily. The head of the Tang family said in a low voice, "Lin Xian is already here." "What? Lin Xian, that kid is here." The elders' faces were full of joy. They did not forget the situation that day. Lin Xian used the cultivation of the second sky of the spiritual sea realm to shake Tsang Lei, who was at the peak of the third sky of the spiritual sea realm. He even faintly suppressed the opponent. If Lin Xian is here, he can definitely defeat Tsang Lei. Some elders were excited. So what? The Tsang family still has Tsang Bao with abnormal strength. I'm afraid that those who are ranked 45th on the Hidden Dragon list and below can't defeat him. The elders had different opinions. Some were happy and some were worried. No matter what, at least we can suppress the Tsang family's arrogance. This was the last hope of the Tang family. In another pavilion, the elders of the 3 sects of the Cloud Prefecture were all here. These people's faces were very ugly. Their disciples were all injured, and some are still lying on the bed. They've gone too far. Let's go find the Tsang family and ask for an explanation. An elder of the Lotus Glory sect suddenly stood up. Forget it. Wouldn't people like us be laughing at our Cloud Prefecture when juniors fight? An elder of the Purple Cloud sect said in a low voice. On the battle martial stage, Tsang Lei had a smug expression. With a command, he shocked everyone to the point that they did not dare to go on stage. This feeling was too good. Martial artists of the Cloud Prefecture, listen well. If you meet Lin Xian, tell him that I'm not to be trifled with. Tell him to obediently kowtow and admit his mistake. Tsang Lei's voice spread everywhere. Lin Xian? Who is Lin Xian? What did he do? The surrounding martial artists were puzzled. Some of the disciples of the 3 sects of the Cloud Prefecture had a huge change in expression, as if they remembered something terrifying. Lin Xian, this scum of the Cloud Prefecture, actually sneak attacked our Tsang family's disciples. If you want to blame someone, blame that Lin Xian. In the crowd, Murong Qianling and the others had strange expressions. Could the Lin Xian he's talking about be junior brother Lin? Impossible. Wasn't junior brother Lin trapped in the trial ground of blood? It must be someone with the same name. But that person claimed to be from the Cloud Prefecture. He should be junior brother Lin. Murong Qianling had a trace of expectation in her heart. Lin Xian came out. He's still alive. Not only were they surprised, but the elders of the 3 sects of the Cloud Prefecture were even more shocked. Lin Xian, he came out? In the pavilion. Everyone looked at the Black Sky sect. Many people's expressions trembled. Elder Duanmu laughed bitterly. You don't have to look at me. I don't know anything. However, I hope that he really came out. That way, our Cloud Prefecture will be saved. Everyone was silent. Elder Duanmu was right. If it really was that Lin Xian, he should be able to save the reputation of the Cloud Prefecture. He had comprehended sword intent and obtained the inheritance. No one knew how far he would grow. The 2 words Lin Xian seemed to have a magical power that shook everyone, other than the elders of the 3 sects. When the other forces of the Cloud Prefecture heard it, their hearts burned with passion. That was the person who obtained the inheritance. We must capture him and ask for the martial arts inheritance, the Ling family's elder said coldly. In the crowd, Vivian and Lu Yang looked at each other and then looked at Lin Xian. They didn't expect that Lin Xian had a grudge with the Tsang family. They also didn't expect Lin Xian to be a martial artist from the Cloud Prefecture. That was the most backward place. How could such a freak appear? You're talking nonsense. Big Brother Lin didn't sneak attack you. It's your Tsang family that's shameless. Big Brother Lin couldn't stand our spiritual grass and attacked. Tong Yu was so angry that she cried. This news was like a heavy bomb that smashed everyone. It seemed that the matter wasn't as simple as it seemed on the surface. It might involve some aristocratic families. At least, there was the shadow of the Tsang family and the Tong family. For a moment, everyone was interested in this martial artist named Lin Xian. You're courting death. In the arena, Tsang Lei was furious and punched out. Blue lightning flashed and turned into a lightning beast that charged towards Tong Yu. Chapter 173. Tong Yu's words enraged Tsang Lei. He could not wait to kill Tong Yu. He punched out with both fists. Lightning surged and intertwined into a ferocious thunder beast. It bared its fangs and brandished its claws as it pounced towards the Tong family. Let's do it together. Tong Lan shouted, and the few people beside him formed a sword array. A shadow of an ancient sword flashed past, slaying the lightning beast. Humph, come at me together if you dare. I will play with you. Tsang Lei said arrogantly. The Tong family disciples' faces turned green. They had to work together to block Tsang Lei's attack. They were no match for him alone. Tsang Lei's punch stunned the Tong family disciples. He then looked in another direction. I heard that you are the number one of the younger generation in Yunzhou. Come and fight me. Tsang Lei pointed at a young man in the Yunzhou martial artist area and sneered. You are Zheng Jun, right? 88th on the Hidden Dragon roll. Zheng Jun's face changed. After he came out from the trials of blood, his strength had increased tremendously. He had finally reached 88th on the Hidden Dragon roll. He was considered the most powerful among the younger generation in Yunzhou. However, he did not expect that this ranking would bring him danger. Zheng Jun felt the terrifying aura from Tsang Lei. He had no intention to fight. The corner of his mouth twitched. Zheng Jun said in a low voice, I am not the number one in Yunzhou. I cannot represent Yunzhou. Oh, if you are not, then who is? Tsang Lei's lips curled into an evil smile. When the surrounding Yunzhou martial artists heard this, their hearts raced. They were afraid that Zheng Jun would throw the title of number one to them, especially those who were similar in strength to Zheng Jun. They were so scared that their foreheads were sweating. Lin Xian. He is the #1 in Yunzhou, Zheng Jun said in a low voice. Since Lin Xian had offended them and they could not find him, they could not do anything about it. As expected, after Tsang Lei heard this, the smile on his face disappeared. You dare to tease me? A sliver of lightning appeared on his body, throbbing violently. All right, don't make it difficult for them. I will fight with you. Morong Qianling stood out. Morong, don't be rash. Some people advised her in a low voice. She was not his opponent. Yunzhou disciples can be defeated, but they cannot run. Even if I lose, I still want to go up. Morong Qianling's eyes were firm. On the side, Wan Jianqing, Yuan Fei, Xia Changfeng, and the others' eyes dimmed. They had all been defeated by Tsang Lei a few days ago, so it was useless for them to go up now. Oh, there's finally someone who isn't afraid of death. Tsang Lei had a playful look on his face. Not bad, you're quite handsome. Why don't you be my bed-warming maid? Aqua Moon Sword. Morong Qianling's pretty face was cold as the long sword in her hand quickly pierced out. A crescent-shaped sword radiance slashed out, like a flower in the mist or a moon in the water. Too weak. Tsang Lei punched out with his right fist, shattering the sword chi. At the same time, it formed a giant hand of thunder and lightning, grabbing toward Yi Futian. Morong Qianling's face was pale. The other party's strength was too powerful. She was not a match at all. However, it was impossible for her to admit defeat just like that. Morong Qianling's body floated and dodged unceasingly. In the crowd, Vivian looked at the stage anxiously. Since she knew that Lin Xian was a disciple of the Cloud State, she naturally didn't want any disciple of the Cloud State to get hurt. Aya, junior brother Lin, why are you cultivating at this time? Vivian cried out in dissatisfaction. She naturally saw that Lin Xian wasn't sleeping on purpose. Instead, he had fallen into a very strange state. Ah! There was a cry of alarm on the stage. Morong Qianling's face was pale as she was about to be swallowed by the thunder and lightning. Vivian clenched her teeth and prepared to make a move. At this moment, Lin Xian in front of her moved. He slowly opened his eyes as if he had just woken up from a deep sleep. The golden electric arc in his eyes was like a flash of lightning. Whoosh! His body swayed and Lin Xian disappeared from his original spot. On the stage, the blue hand of thunder and lightning covered the sky and earth. It was incomparably ferocious and was about to grab Morong Qianling. At this moment, a golden bolt of lightning flashed by at an extreme speed. With a flash of golden light, Morong Qianling's body disappeared. Rumble! The blue hand of thunder and lightning smashed on the ground and a terrifying pit appeared. There was even a trace of black smoke coming out from the surroundings. It didn't hit. Tsang Lei was stunned and looked around. Everyone was also stunned. Most of them didn't see what had just happened. Only Tsang Bao, Wen Su, and a few others saw someone saving Morong Qianling. Behind, the surrounding martial artists quickly shouted. Tsang Lei suddenly turned his head and a cruel smile appeared on his face. However, when he saw the figure, he was stunned. Lin Xian! He gritted his teeth and said, What? He's Lin Xian? The surrounding martial artists were in an uproar as they looked at the young man on the stage. Not only them, the martial artists of the Cloud region, the elders of the Tong family, the elders of the 3 sects of the Cloud region, and various forces were all looking at Lin Xian. Junior brother Lin, you're finally here. Morong Qianling's beautiful eyes were filled with tears. Ever since Lin Xian participated in the trial of blood, Morong Qianling's identity changed from a teacher to a senior sister. This was the sex rule. If Lin Xian entered the harmonious spirit realm, perhaps those disciples would have to call him martial uncle. Senior sister Morong, don't worry. Leave everything to me. Although Lin Xian was comprehending the lightning martial arts, he still left a part of his consciousness outside. Therefore, he was aware of everything that happened outside. Murong Qianling nodded and walked down the stage. Only Tsang Lei and Lin Xian were left on the stage. Everyone looked at Lin Xian and carefully sized him up. This was a handsome young man with a slender body and deep eyes. He was wearing a thick white bear coat, and there was a furry pet on his shoulder. Is this really the #1 martial artist of the Cloud region who injured the Tsang family's disciple? Everyone was suspicious. This is clearly a neighborhood boy. Lin Xian, you're finally here. I'll break your bones one by one and let you live like a dog for the rest of your life. Tsang Lei's expression was vicious, as if he was a demon from hell. Lin Xian's expression was cold. Since you want to live like this, I'll fulfill your wish. This expression again. Tsang Lei was going crazy in his heart. Pretend, I'll let you pretend. I'll kill you later. Hearing Lin Xian's words, the surrounding martial artists were also in an uproar. Although his appearance and cultivation didn't look like the #1 martial artist of the Cloud region, his tone and expression made everyone feel that the young man in front of them wasn't simple. After all, no one dared to offend the Tsang family now. In a pavilion far away, the Tsang family's elders snorted coldly. Daring to injure my Tsang family's disciple, I'll let you live a life worse than death. Directly suppress him and make him a slave of the Tsang family. The Tsang family's elders were very cruel. The Tang family's elders had a look of anticipation. They were looking forward to Lin Xian defeating Tsang Lei and dampening the Tsang family's prestige. The elders of the 3 sects of the Cloud region had a look of worry. Lin Xian's cultivation is only at the 3rd layer of the spiritual ocean realm. I'm afraid he has no chance of winning. Maybe not as good as Zheng Jun. After all, he's just a brat. Elder Shui sneered. He didn't want Lin Xian to win. The news that Lin Xian was still alive already made him very unhappy. Elder Duanmu took a deep breath, and his eyes shone brightly. No matter what, this time, we can't let Lin Xian suffer any harm. On the battle stage, Tsang Lei's expression was cold. The aura on his body kept rising, and blue lightning circled around him, making a rumbling sound. You've angered me. No one can save you. Lin Xian's face darkened slightly, and golden lightning arcs jumped in his eyes. Chapter 174. Can that brat really contend against Tsang Lei? He's only at the 3rd layer of the spiritual ocean tier. I don't know. Cloud State's martial artists' cultivation is generally low. This might be their strongest battle prowess. The surrounding martial artists looked at the stage and discussed animatedly. Zheng Jun's face was gloomy. In order to avoid a battle, he casually put the title of Cloud State's #1 on Lin Xian's head. He originally thought that Lin Xian disappeared and wouldn't appear. Who knew this would happen? Now he hated Lin Xian to lose immediately, or else he would go crazy. A bunch of idiots. Wait until you see junior brother Lin's strength. Don't be scared to tears. Lu Yang was full of confidence in Lin Xian. Ha 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 ha. Tsang Lei laughed loudly. The aura on his body rose to an extreme, then dispersed with a loud bang. Like raging waves crashing on the shore, it rolled up thousands of layers of clouds. I've already broken through to the 4th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. I can kill you with one hand. What? 4th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. Even Tsang Lei broke through. The Tang family's disciples looked terrible. Cloud State's martial artists were also nervous to the extreme. Even some of the elders in the distance had their hearts in their mouths. Originally, they thought that Lin Xian had a chance of winning. But now, the situation was hard to say. Although Lin Xian had soared intent, the further one reached the spiritual ocean tier, the greater the gap. The surrounding warriors also sighed. Originally, they wanted to watch a fierce battle, but now, it seemed that the result was already very obvious. Idiot, Lin Xian even killed a martial artist comparable to the 5th layer of the spiritual ocean tier, not to mention Song Lei. Lu Yang looked at everyone's expression and sneered in his heart. If this is what you're counting on, then I'm very disappointed. Lin Xian's voice was cold. He opened his 5 fingers slightly, and golden arcs of lightning danced on his fingertips. Just nice. I'll use you to test it out. Lin Xian just got the lightning sacred art from Lord Alcohol, so it was a good time to test it out. Arrogant Dai. Song Lei attacked like a thunder god. He punched out with both fists, and 2 lightning pythons shot out. What a terrifying lightning aura. Some cultivators' voices trembled. Good job, Brother Lei. Kill him. The disciples of the Tsang family shouted. Tsang Bao looked at the field and nodded slightly. Lei has already mastered the Thunder Tyrant Fist. It shouldn't be hard for him to enter the top 60 of the Hidden Dragon ranking. Chain Lightning. Lin Xian's body remained motionless as he abruptly descended. Boom! 5 bolts of golden lightning suddenly struck down from the sky. It was extremely violent. Each of them was as thick as a human thigh. The 5 lightning bolts lined up in a row and blasted into the blue lightning python's body, directly penetrating it. This time the scene was too shocking. The 10-meter-long lightning python was directly cut apart and turned into dust. What? He's also a thunder tribute martial artist? At this moment, all the surrounding martial artists were stunned. Lin Xian's move was too brilliant. It was so brilliant that it blinded their eyes. I'm afraid even Tsang Bao wouldn't be able to achieve such a high level of control over lightning. Why do I feel that his lightning is even more terrifying than Tsang Lei's? Many martial artists were surprised. Tsang Bao squinted his eyes and looked coldly at Lin Xian. There was a hint of greed in his eyes. Golden lightning. What a high grade. If I can get this lightning, I'm afraid entering the top 30 of the Hidden Dragon ranking wouldn't be a problem. Tsang Bao wasn't the only one. All the elders of the Tsang family were shocked. Golden lightning? Isn't this the lightning in the legends? How could that kid have it? No, we must capture this person. Only our Tsang family deserves to have this kind of lightning. The elders of the Tsang family made a decision. No matter the result of the competition, they wouldn't let Lin Xian go. Damn it, it's this kind of lightning again. Song Lei's face was ferocious. Last time, he was completely restrained by this golden lightning. I can only use that move. A hint of ruthlessness appeared in his eyes as he formed a strange seal with his palm. A dangerous aura was emitted from his body, making people's hearts tremble. Lin Xian frowned. His body turned into a ray of light and rushed over. He didn't want to waste time on a small character like Tsang Lei. Your Tsang family oppressed my fellow martial artists of Cloud State and even injured my sect's disciples. This kind of crime is unforgivable. Lin Xian's voice was loud like a bell, shaking the 9 heavens. He arrived in front of Tsang Lei in a flash and slammed his palm down. Golden lightning ring. A golden lightning ring flew out and wrapped around Tsang Lei. Then it released a powerful lightning power. Crackle! As if a golden sea of lightning appeared. It covered the area and destroyed everything. Everyone stared blankly and was stunned for a moment. When the lightning disappeared, Tsang Lei's body was charred black. His hair stood on end and the defensive armor on his body was broken. A smell of barbecued meat came, mixed with a hint of burnt smell. Just one hit and Tsang Lei was severely injured. This kind of method was too terrifying. One had to know that Lin Xian was only a martial artist in the 3rd layer of the spiritual ocean realm, while Tsang Lei was a martial artist in the 4th layer. Although it was only a difference of 1 layer, there was a world of difference between them. This kind of method to fight above one's level could only be done by some very powerful martial arts geniuses. Everyone didn't dare to underestimate Lin Xian anymore. This was definitely a young demon king. You dare to hurt me, I'm going to kill you. Song Lei went crazy. He didn't think that Lin Xian could defeat him in one move. He endured the pain and took out a walnut-sized bead from his storage ring. There was a bitter smile on his face. I'm going to let you die without a burial place. Not good. This is the Thunderfire bead. It can kill all martial artists below the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean realm. When the surrounding martial artists saw it, they all retreated in fear. And Lin Xian raised his eyebrows. Purple light flashed in his eyes as he released a soul attack. Ah! Song Lei's face was twisted with struggle. Finally, he handed the thunder fire bead to Lin Xian while trembling. What? Is Song Lei crazy? The group of people was so shocked that their jaws dropped. Bastard, what did you do to Brother Lei? The disciples of the Song family were furious. Song Bao also frowned, his eyes full of confusion. Lin Xian put away the thunder fire bead, then looked at Song Lei with a cold smile. His gaze was like a sword, waking Song Lei up instantly. What did you do to me? My big brother is here. He won't let you go. The Song family won't let you go either. Song Lei's eyes were filled with fear as he screamed crazily. You shouldn't have attacked the martial artists of Cloud State, and definitely shouldn't have attacked my fellow disciples. Lin Xian's voice was cold, colder than the ice and snow of Snow State. Since you did it, you have to pay the price. Golden lightning danced on his fingertips, forming a golden whirlpool. Traces of terrifying aura came from it, as if it was going to destroy everything. No, big brother, save me. Song Lei used his remaining strength to escape, while shouting loudly at the same time. Who? Lin Xian's palm fell. Swoosh! A dazzling saber light lit up, cut through the air and slashed at Lin Xian. It was a powerful and terrifying saber. It directly cut the battle stage into 2 halves. At the same time, a blue figure flew out and landed on the stage. Big brother! Song Lei's voice was full of surprise. Everyone looked over and saw Song Bao standing opposite Lin Xian with a cold expression. Don't you think you went too far? Too far? When you attacked the martial artists of Cloud State, did you think you went too far? When you attacked my fellow disciples, did you think you were cruel? Now you're saying this to me. You asked for it. I hit them. What can you do? Brother, don't waste your time talking to him. Just capture him and bring him back to the family. Song Lei stood behind Song Bao with a vicious expression. Chapter 175. With Song Bao's support, Song Lei became arrogant again. The disciples of Cloud State were furious. The Song family was too much of a bully. Even some of the onlooking disciples were furious. Many of them began to support Lin Xian. I've said it before. No one can save you. Lin Xian's eyes were like sharp swords that pierced through the front. Humph. You, my brother, can crush you with one hand. Song Lei shouted from behind. Whoosh! Lin Xian's body flashed and disappeared. Song Bao's pupils constricted, and he was furious. He had defeated Wen Su, who was ranked 47th and was in the limelight. He thought that he could intimidate everyone, but he did not expect Lin Xian to attack him in front of him. The surrounding martial artists were also stunned. This was too fierce. He really dared to attack Song Bao? Song Bao stomped his feet, and the lightning on his body surged out crazily. It was as if it had turned into thousands of lightning spears that pierced in all directions. Chi-chi! Golden electric arcs jumped, and Lin Xian's figure appeared from the side. He pulled out an arc of electric light from his hand and formed a circle of electric rings that enveloped Song Bao. Humph, break for me. Song Bao sneered and slashed out with the long saber in his hand. The saber light cut through the void and slashed at the golden electric rings in the air. Chi-chi! The long saber was like a rainbow as it cut through the golden electric rings like tofu and quickly slashed at Lin Xian. Not good. Song Bao is too powerful. Murong Qianling and the others' faces changed. The Tong family disciples all exclaimed. The surrounding martial artists were also extremely nervous. Could Song Bao be so powerful that he could kill Lin Xian with one slash? Lu Yang and Wei Wei looked strange, but they were not too worried. They had seen Lin Xian's strength. Song Bao was not much different from the one-eyed wolf bandit. If Lin Xian could kill the one-eyed wolf bandit, he would definitely not be hit by Song Bao. In the distant pavilion, the elders all frowned. Among them, the elders of the Tsang family looked solemn, and there was a trace of uneasiness in their hearts. Chi-Chi. The saber radiance flashed like a bolt of lightning, piercing through Lin Xian. The hearts of Murong Qianling and the others trembled as they felt a burst of dizziness. They didn't believe that Lin Xian would die just like that. Chi, chi, chi. Lin Xian's split body didn't spurt out blood. Instead, it turned into a ball of lightning and flew in all directions. Phantom. Song Bao's pupils shrank. He seemed to have thought of something terrifying. Ah! Big brother, save me! A blood-curdling scream came from behind. Song Bao turned around abruptly, his entire being raging with rage. I've said it before. No one can save you. Lin Xian's voice was calm and steady. However, when these words entered the ears of the Tsang family disciples, it was like a clap of thunder from the 9 heavens, shocking them to the point their hearts trembled. Without any hesitation, Lin Xian's palm glowed with a golden lightning vortex. Then he blasted it at Tsang Lei's dantian. Puff! Tsang Lei rolled out like a dead dog. The blue saber radiance flashed and slashed towards Lin Xian. This saber was extremely fast, like a flash of lightning. However, Lin Xian's speed was even faster. He turned into a golden line and retreated rapidly. Rumble! Where Lin Xian originally stood, a huge crack appeared and spread into the distance. Ah! My spiritual sea is shattered. Tsang Lei rolled on the ground and kept screaming. You actually shattered my spiritual sea. I want you dead. What? Tsang Lei is crippled. Everyone was stunned. They didn't expect things to turn out like this. In this world where martial arts were respected, a crippled spiritual sea meant that one could no longer cultivate. This was a fate crueler than death. The surrounding martial artists stared blankly at Lin Xian. An inexplicable fear arose in their hearts. This young man seemed gentle, but when he did things, he was decisive and without hesitation. Even in the face of a powerhouse like Song Bao, he couldn't change his mind. Since you bullied the martial artists of Cloud State and my sect, you should be prepared to be crippled. Lin Xian's voice was like a sharp sword that pierced through the sky. The martial artists of Cloud State trembled and looked at Lin Xian with excitement. The disciples of the 3 sects were panting heavily. They felt their blood boiling. Originally, they were unhappy with Lin Xian. However, now, Lin Xian dared to challenge the entire Tsang family for them and Cloud State. This kind of courage made them excited and made them yearn for it. What was the attitude of a powerhouse? If I want you to live, you can't die. If I want you to die, no one can save you. Not even God. Wan Jianxing, Yuan Fei, Shangguan Luyan, and the others clenched their fists tightly. Lin Xian's figure had been deeply imprinted in their hearts and became the direction they pursued. In the distant pavilion, the elders of Cloud State's 3 sects also stood up excitedly. Awesome, this feeling is too awesome. For the past few days, they had been suppressed by the Tsang family. Many people mocked Cloud State. They were angry and unwilling, but they were powerless to fight back. As a major force in Green State, the Tsang family was much stronger than them. As for the younger generation, Tsang Lei alone was enough to suppress the martial artists of Cloud State. Now, the devil in their hearts was lying on the ground like a dog. And all of this was done by Lin Xian. He was a disciple of Cloud State. F*CK, this is too awesome. Let's see who dares to say that Cloud State has no one. An elder of the Black Heaven sect shouted. On the other side, the elders of the Tsang family were in an uproar. Many of them stood up and prepared to capture Lin Xian. Stop! If we make a move now, what will the martial artists of the world think of us? The Tsang family's grand elder said coldly, Are we going to let him go just like that? The other elders roared angrily, Let him go? How can we? I want him to suffer a fate worse than death. The Tsang family's grand elder said cruelly, Let's leave the surface matters to the younger generation. If we make a move, those old guys from Cloud State will also make a move. Although our Tsang family isn't afraid of them, this isn't Green State. We don't have enough people, so we can't act rashly. When this is over, we'll secretly capture that kid, extract his lightning, and make him a slave of the Tsang family forever. The group of Tsang family's elders calmed down and sat down. Their eyes flashed and their smiles were cruel. On the combat stage, Tsang Lei had been carried down. However, things weren't over yet. Tsang Bao's face was ferocious as he glared at Lin Xian. He couldn't wait to hack him to death. Kid, you'll regret this. I'll make you pay. No one can hurt a disciple of the Tsang family. The lightning on Tsang Bao's body rumbled and formed a black cloud above him. The wind and snow between heaven and earth became even stronger. The cold wind blew, as cold as the blades of a blade. However, no one felt the cold. Their bodies were trembling slightly as they stared at the stage with excitement. Exciting, too exciting. Someone dared to make a move on the Tsang family. The surrounding martial artists were as excited as if they were on steroids. Fight! 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 Everyone raised their arms and shouted. Thousands of voices gathered together and formed a torrent that shook the heavens and earth. The entire ice-snow city was alarmed. More martial artists rushed over. Lin Xian stared at Tsang Bao. The battle intent in his heart continued to rise. Doesn't your Tsang family like to suppress the martial artists of Cloud State? Today, I'll represent the martial artists of Cloud State and beat your Tsang family until you can't raise your head. Chapter 176. Powerful, too powerful. Who would have thought that a martial artist at the third level of the spiritual ocean realm would dare to go against Tsang Bao? That was an elite that even when Su defeated. Peng! Tsang Bao was enraged. His long saber slashed out continuously, forming a saber light in the air. More than half of the sky was covered by the light. The saber light was brilliant, illuminating the front. Lin Xian swayed and kept flashing, dodging all the attacks. He leaned forward, waving his hands. Chain lightning! The clouds rolled, and 5 golden lightning bolts struck down. The sea of lightning rolled around, emitting energy waves that made people's hearts palpitate. Boom! Tsang Bao's long saber turned into lightning, and a lightning bird gushed out from the materialized saber light. With a flap of its wings, it charged into the sky. Rumble! Blue lightning bird versus golden lightning. Both were extremely violent energies. When the two collided, they exploded. The entire battle martial stage was shaking. Fortunately, this stage was built with special stones that were extremely hard. Otherwise, this would be enough to turn the stage into dust. That blue lightning bird was pierced through in an instant. 5 terrifying holes the size of buckets appeared. However, his 5 lightning bolts didn't strike down. The injured lightning bird turned into a ball of lightning fire, burning fiercely and exhausting the energy of the 5 golden lightning bolts. With one blow, the two were evenly matched. Cloud State's martial artists all looked at Lin Xian excitedly. Although they admired Lin Xian, they didn't think that Lin Xian could contend against Tsang Bao. But now, It seemed that Lin Xian's strength was even more terrifying than they imagined. Lu Yang and Wei Wei watched with a smile. They knew that Lin Xian's strongest point wasn't lightning, but sword arts. Lin Xian didn't use his sword, which meant that he had enough confidence. Damn it! Song Bao was furious. He couldn't get the upper hand. This situation was unexpected. Even in the competition with Wen Su, he had absolute confidence. But now he didn't have any confidence. Sevenfold Thunder Saber. Lightning jumped on Song Bao's body, bursting out with powerful energy. He used his strongest attack. His long saber was wrapped in endless lightning, looking azure. Here it comes, Brother Leopard's strongest attack. 7-layered Thunderblade, Brother Leopard is mighty. The Song family's disciples all shouted. Everyone was nervous. They didn't know if Lin Xian would be defeated by the 7-fold Thunderblade, like Wen Su. In a distant pavilion, the hands of the Song family's elder were sweating. The 7-fold Thunderblade should be able to subdue this brat, right? What are you thinking? This is my Song family's spirit tier martial art. It will definitely be able to defeat that little thief. The elder of the Song family felt a trace of worry. Your strongest attack? Lin Xian's lips curled up slightly. His hands began to form a seal, and a whirlpool of golden lightning appeared in his hands. The golden vortex spun at high speed, like a whirlwind. Lightning flashed within it. Although the lightning vortex was only the size of a palm, no one dared to underestimate it. 7-layered Thunderblade, 3 blades in one. 3 phantoms of Thunderblades formed behind Song Bao. They were more than 10 meters tall and looked like small mountains. Under his control, the 3 Thunderblade phantoms quickly merged into one and slashed forward. Air waves rolled, snowflakes flew backward, and the sky was filled with snow. The huge Thunderblade seemed to have cut open the entire space, forming a vacuum zone in front of it. Lightning storm. The golden vortex in Lin Xian's hand flew out and grew bigger. In the sky above the battle stage, a golden cloud seemed to have appeared and shrouded Song Bao. Rumble. Lightning flashed, and the storm danced, drowning the front. Everyone's eyelids twitched as they constantly retreated, afraid of being contaminated by the lightning. Song Bao was hit by the lightning storm and let out a miserable cry. How is this possible? When the Song family's elders saw this scene, they all stood up. The great elder even smashed a table into pieces. Lin Xian's body kept rising as he dodged the Thunderblade in the air. Not good. Lin Xian is going to be hit. A martial artist exclaimed. Could it be that both of them are going to be seriously injured? Lin Xian, Murong Qianling, and the rest were extremely anxious. Wei Wei and Lu Yang were also on tenterhooks as they watched nervously. Humph, the 7-fold Thunderblade isn't that easy to dodge. In the pavilion, the Song family's great elder said coldly. The blade light shrouded the bottom and was about to hit Lin Xian. Boom! The blade light exploded like a ball of sun, incomparably dazzling. Everyone closed their eyes, not daring to look directly. After a long time, when the light dissipated, everyone opened their eyes and impatiently looked over. They saw that the spiritual energy on Song Bao's body was shattered, and there were holes in his body. His face was black, and his hair was disheveled. He was in a sorry state. Although he was seriously injured, at least he survived. He looked in front of him and saw that it was scorched black and there was a bottomless hole. Humph, no matter how strong you are, you were still cut down by me. Ha 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 ha. Song Bao looked up and laughed. Are you talking about me? A faint voice came from behind him. What? Song Bao's voice stopped abruptly as if he was choked by someone. His face was stiff and his smile was still on his face, but his eyes were filled with horror. Behind him, Lin Xian was wearing a white bear coat. It was white and flawless, like an elegant prince. Impossible! Song Bao turned back and screamed. How can you be completely fine?" He did not believe it. He did not believe it at all. Although it was just 3 blades in one, the power was not something that ordinary people could block. He believed that under that blade, even an expert of the same level would not be able to escape unscathed. However, Lin Xian was not injured at all. Song Bao was not the only one shocked. Everyone was stunned. In their opinion, even if Lin Xian could block this blade, he would at least be seriously injured like Song Bao. However, the reality before their eyes told them that Lin Xian was completely fine. Is this guy still human? I feel like I'm dreaming. Many martial artists felt that their heads were stuck and could not think properly. Impossible! How can he dodge the 7-fold thunderblade unscathed? The elders of the Tsang family were in a mess. That was their Tsang family's ultimate move. But someone had managed to dodge it unscathed. "Damn it, this kid must have some secrets. We have to capture him," said an elder of the Tsang family through gritted teeth. In fact, Lin Xian was able to dodge the blade, thanks to Wensu. When Wensu and Song Bao were fighting, Lin Xian was shocked by the flight of white feathers. Although he was learning martial arts from Lord Alcohol, he still left a trace of his consciousness. He copied Wensu's flight of white feathers into his mind. With the great dragon sword seal's unparalleled saint technique, Lin Xian could use this ultimate move to dodge the 7-fold thunderblade. Don't be so smug. That was just an appetizer. Now, I'll show you the true power of the 7-fold thunderblade. Song Bao decided to use 5 blades in one. That was his strongest attack. He took a deep breath and circulated his spiritual energy to the maximum. The blade in his hand shone brightly as the phantom of a thunder blade appeared behind him. 5 blades in one. Lin Xian smirked. "Since you want to lose, I'll let you lose completely." He flicked his storage ring, and the autumn scar sword appeared in his hand. Chapter 177. With a sword in hand, Lin Xian's aura underwent a huge change. Sharp, sharp, like a divine sword unsheathed. What, is he a swordsman? The surrounding warriors were a little dazed. Lin Xian's lightning power had already shocked them, and now he took out a long sword. No way! If he's a swordsman, how abnormal would he be? Those warriors who did not know Lin Xian were all discussing, their eyes full of surprise, because the average swordsman's ability was in the sword. With a long sword in hand, they could release 120% of their attack, but without a long sword, they could not even release 60% of their attack. However, Lin Xian was obviously an exception. Without a sword, he was very powerful. With a sword, he was even stronger. At this moment, all the warriors who knew Lin Xian had a change of expression. Many people were excited and could not wait to shout out, because Lin Xian's strongest was not lightning, but sword intent. A swordsman who comprehended sword intent, his combat power was absolutely heaven-defying. Lin Xian made the same gesture as Song Bao, and the spiritual power in his body constantly surged. What is he doing? Is he going to use some ultimate skill? The surrounding warriors were guessing. Don't try to use this trick to confuse me. It's useless. Song Bao sneered. Is he going to use the same martial skill? What a joke. The Tsang family elders looked disdainful. However, in the next moment, their eyes almost popped out. 5 thick beams of sword qi appeared behind Lin Xian, as if they were pillars of heaven. Hiss! Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air as if they had seen a ghost. On the opposite side, Song Bao's expression changed drastically. His body was trembling, and the lightning blade phantom behind him flickered. Impossible! How do you know my Tsang family's ultimate skill? Tsang, Bao shouted with all his strength. The Tsang family disciples behind him were all terrified. The group of Tsang family elders were almost scared to death. This scene was too terrifying. Their opponents had actually used the exact same move, and this move was actually a secret of their family that had never been passed down to outsiders. It's not the sevenfold lightning blade, it just looks the same. The Tsang family's great elder's cultivation was extraordinary, and he was able to see through the truth. Although they looked the same, their auras were completely different. After the elders heard this, they were relieved. Then they sneered. Their Tsang family's sevenfold thunderblade was not something that could be casually called out. Every slash contained a peerlessly powerful force. Moreover, every slash was not simply superimposed. The 7 sabers combined into one could unleash an attack that exceeded one's own strength. Song Bao quickly figured this out. He ignored Lin Xian and slowly condensed the shadow of the thunderblade behind him. Lin Xian also understood this principle. Although he could not simulate the secret of the thunderblade now, the moment Song Bao attacked, everything would be revealed, activating his purple spirit eyes to the extreme. Lin Xian seemed to be able to see through Song Bao. Song Bao's body trembled as he felt an inexplicable chill. Without waiting any longer, he waved his long arms, and the 5 saber shadows behind him merged into one, forming a dazzling saber light that slashed down. This moment was extremely fast, but Lin Xian still managed to capture it under the effect of his purple spirit eyes. The great dragon sword seal surged as Lin Xian unleashed his body's potential to the extreme. The saber light flashed and instantly arrived above his head. At this moment, Lin Xian attacked. The 5 sword auras behind him quickly merged into one, forming a sharp saber light. Moreover, it also contained a sharp sword intent. Slash! Lin Xian roared as the autumn scar sword slashed out quickly. The sword auras behind him surged and surged in all directions. Rumble! The 2 violent energies collided with each other, producing a metallic sound. I am the true sevenfold thunderblade. Die! Song Bao's face was filled with madness as he poured all the spiritual energy in his body into the saber. However, what made him despair was that the blue saber light was slowly being repelled. The sharp sword aura was like a giant dragon as it flew towards him. In an instant, everything was annihilated. The whole world seemed to have lost its voice. No sound could be heard, and only light could be seen. Swoosh! Swoosh! In the pavilion far away, the elders of the Tsang family could no longer hold it in. They were about to go crazy. Without any hesitation, they quickly rushed towards the battle stage. They were not the only ones who moved. The elders of the 3 sects and the various forces of the Cloud State had also moved. Open! A loud roar was heard as a huge palm appeared in the sky. The palm grabbed at the air, causing the clouds to roll back and strong winds to blow in all directions. Lin Xian's sword aura was shattered. A strong pressure was exerted, as if 10,000 mountains were pressing down on him. This terrifying aura instantly covered the entire area, making it difficult for everyone to breathe. This is a harmonious spirit realm expert, someone said with a trembling voice. Lin Xian's expression was solemn as he looked at the strange phenomenon in the sky, lost in thought. Is this the power of a harmonious spirit realm expert? Too strong. Lin Xian was looking forward to it. Lin Xian was not too worried because he could sense a few familiar forces in his soul. These people would protect him. Swoosh! A huge palm of light, about 100 meters in size, mercilessly grabbed at Lin Xian. Bang! The clouds rolled and formed a huge mountain, repelling the palm of light. A few figures quickly landed beside Lin Xian, protecting him. Greetings, elders, Lin Xian said respectfully. The people who came were Elder Duanmu and the others. They surrounded Lin Xian tightly, fearing that an accident would happen. Little thief, look what you've done! On the opposite side, the elders of the Tsang family were trembling with anger. One of the elders was holding a bloodied leopard with a ferocious expression. Lin Xian sneered, "The young can't beat the old. The Tsang family is really strong. What did you say? Do you believe that I won't kill you with one slap?" The elder of the Tsang family was furious. "Humph, do you really think we're decorations?" Elder Duanmu and the others snorted, their aura fluctuating. The Tsang family was in the wrong in the first place. They had mercilessly suppressed the disciples of the Cloud State, but now a harmonious spirit, realm warrior, dared to attack Lin Xian. We old men shouldn't interfere with the younger generation's battle. If you really want to fight, I can accompany you for a few moves, Elder Duanmu said slowly. Shameless Junior, you stole the secret art of the Tsang family and even injured our disciples. This is unforgivable. Hand over Lin Xian, or the Cloud State will be in trouble. The elder of the Tsang family was overbearing. If you didn't target the disciples of the Cloud State first, I'm afraid this wouldn't have happened. So use your brain before you do anything in the future. Lin Xian retorted. Tsang Leopard and I had a fair fight. It's inevitable that there would be casualties. This point, your family's Tsang Lei has already made it very clear. If you really want to attack me without caring about your status, I'll accept it. But at that time, it's none of my business how the world talks about the Tsang family. Lin Xian sneered in his heart. He had many ways to prevent the elder from attacking. The elders of the Tsang family were flushed red. They had calmed down from their initial rage. Now that there were so many pairs of eyes watching, if they acted rashly, they might attract the dissatisfaction of the other forces. Immediately, the elder of the Tsang family snorted. Let's put the matter of injuring him aside for now. You stole the secret art of the Tsang family. This matter will not be forgotten. No matter what, you have to come back with us to the Tsang family and find out the truth. They sneered in their hearts. As long as Lin Xian was in their hands, they would be able to find out the secret on his body. At that time, the Golden Lightning and all the treasures on Lin Xian would belong to the Tsang family. Chapter 178. Elder Duanmu and the rest frowned slightly. The martial technique that Lin Xian displayed was indeed similar to Tsang Bao's. If the Tsang family clung to it, this matter would probably be very troublesome. Who knew that Lin Xian laughed disdainfully. Your Tsang family's martial art. What's your Tsang family's martial art called? Humph, asking when you already know the answer. Of course, it's the sevenfold Thunder Saber. Don't think that we can't recognize you changing to sword shadows. The Tsang family's elder sneered. Sevenfold Thunder Saber. That's to say that you can at most condense 7 saber shadows? Lin Xian asked solemnly. Nonsense, this sort of thing most people know. The Tsang family's head elder snorted coldly. After Lin Xian heard, the corners of his mouth curled into a smile. The Tsang family's elders were bewildered, faintly having a bad feeling. But they did not believe that Lin Xian could prove anything. Even the surrounding martial artists also had curious faces. They did not know why Lin Xian was so calm. Everyone, what I displayed was clearly the 9 heavens sword shadows, not some sevenfold thunder saber. Nonsense, what 9 heavens sword shadows? We've never heard of it. Don't try to quibble, you little thief. The Tsang family's elders berated loudly. Whether it's quibbling or not, you'll know with one look. Lin Xian's eyes focused, and the aura on his body gradually became fierce. Behind him, long sword phantoms began to appear, forming a row. Everyone looked over with rapt attention, and very soon their eyes widened. 5, same as before. No, 7, he actually condensed 7. I'm afraid that even in the Tsang family, there aren't many people who can condense 7 sword shadows. The group of martial artists seemed to have gone mad, exclaiming repeatedly. The Tsang family's elders' faces darkened like they had seen a ghost. Impossible! How can he possibly display 7 sword energies? He's only at the 3rd firmament spiritual sea. The Tsang family's elders' faces were hideous, but what shocked them had yet to come. After the 7 sword shadows appeared, Lin Xian did not stop, but his spirit energy revolved once again. The 8th sword shadow appeared faintly, appearing before everyone's eyes. Oh my God, what did I see? The 8th sword shadow. Isn't the 7-layered Thunderblade supposed to only have 7 strikes? Why is there an 8th one? Could it be that what he said was true? It wasn't the 7-fold Thunderblade, but the 9 heavens sword shadow? The surrounding martial artists discussed animatedly. Up until now, they had already believed more than half of it. When the 9th sword shadow appeared behind Lin Xian, everyone believed it. Lin Xian was using his own martial art, 9 heavens sword shadow. The faces of the Tsang family's elders darkened as they stared at Lin Xian like hungry wolves. Damn it, what kind of secret technique does he have? The elders roared in their hearts. They didn't know how Lin Xian was able to condense 9 sword shadows, but they knew that if the Tsang clan could grasp this method, then their 7-layered Thunderblade would rise to a whole new level. And at that time, the Tsang family status would not only be the overlord of Qingzhou, but it was very likely that they would be one of the top powers in Xia country. All of this could be achieved as long as they captured Lin Xian. Humph, it's just a trick. Just follow me back obediently. The Tsang family's great elder sneered and suddenly attacked. Boom! Like a volcanic eruption, the spiritual energy wave blew away all the surrounding martial artists. A gigantic lightning palm blotted out the sky and grabbed at Lin Xian. How dare you! Elder Duanmu was furious. He waved his sleeve and went forward. When 2 harmonious spirit experts fought, the momentum was shocking. With just 1 strike, all the martial artists within 1,000 meters fell to the ground. Just as the battle was about to break out, a cold snort came from the horizon. Humph! How dare you touch a friend of my Wanbao Tower? A strong light flashed and collided between Elder Duanmu and the Tsang family's great elder. The force was abnormally strong, but it was also very gentle. It separated the 2 of them in an instant. With a flash, 3 old men appeared in front of everyone. 1 red and 1 white, and the other was a hunchback old man. Elder Duanmu and the rest of the Tsang family's elders looked at the 3 of them cautiously. So it's Taoist friends from the Wanbao Tower. Greetings, Duanmu. On the other side, the Tsang family's elders also bowed. They didn't dare to go against the Wanbao Tower. The Tsang family was only a big family in the Qing province, while the Wanbao Tower was a big power in the Xia country. The 2 of them weren't on the same level. I don't know why the 3 of you are here. Greetings to the 3 seniors. Before the Tsang family's great elder could finish his words, Lin Xian shouted first. The red and white elders looked at Lin Xian with a smile. Little friend Lin isn't injured, right? Lin. Little friend Lin? Everyone was stunned. The Tsang family's elders were even more dumbstruck. Lin Xian was actually related to the Wanbao Tower, and this relationship didn't seem to be ordinary. Who exactly was he? Why were so many people protecting him? The Tsang family's elders could not figure it out, but they knew that the matter of capturing Lin Xian this time was probably going to be a bust. Regarding the matter of Lin Xian's 9 heavens sword shadow, this old man can prove that it's indeed his own martial art, the Wanbao Tower's hunchbacked old man said coolly. Since Elder Gu said it, then it's naturally true. The Tsang family's great elder was going crazy in his heart, but there was nothing he could do. He did not dare to oppose the Wanbao Tower head-on. But the matter of capturing Lin Xian, he would not give up. Let's go. The Tsang family's great elder flicked his sleeves and brought the Tsang family's people away. Quite a few elders gnashed their teeth in hatred as they looked at Lin Xian. The ruthlessness in them was very obvious. But Lin Xian was not afraid at all. With the Wanbao Tower now, the Tsang family did not dare to make a move at all. And after a few more days, even without the Wanbao Tower's protection, he would not fear the Tsang family either, because he was bound to meet the Sword Pool Manor's Lin family's people. And at that time his other identity would also be exposed. At that time, the Tsang family's elders probably would not dare to do anything to him at all. Seeing the Tsang family's people leave, the Wanbao Tower's 3 elders looked at Lin Xian with smiles. "Young friend Lin, don't forget our agreement." 3 seniors, please rest assured. Lin Xian won't forget. Also, thank the 3 seniors for saving me. Lin Xian said respectfully. Hoo, you're too serious, the 3 elders said with a laugh. Following that, the 3 people spoke, briefly, and then left. Xianer, let's go back, Elder Duanmu said. Yes. A cloud of mist wrapped everyone and left this place. Only a group of martial artists remained on the spot, discussing nonstop. Of course, the object of their discussion was all Lin Xian. Presumably, in less than a few days, Lin Xian's name would spread throughout the entire Ice Snow City. In the southern district of Ice Snow City, there was a small ice snow park. The houses inside were all cast with cold ice. In one of the halls, many people stood. They were precisely the profound Sky Sect's disciples. Elder Duanmu sat in the middle, and on both sides were the other elders of the sect. Elder Shui Yi sat in the middle, but his expression was a little unnatural. Zhang Jun stood in the crowd with his head lowered. He did not dare to look at Lin Xian. Lin Xian recounted what happened after entering the blood-red door. Of course, he did not mention some of the important details. He did not mention a word about the great dragon sword seal and Xinjingqiu. So there's a secret place under the blood-red palace. Is that black-robed man really from the Nether Hall? I'm afraid it won't be too peaceful. Elder Duanmu and the rest had gloomy expressions. No matter which news it was, it made it difficult for them to calm down. Xianer, go and rest. 5 days later, we'll head to the snow-seeking sect. Chapter 179. The snowstorm in Ice Snow City continued, and more martial artists came and went. Of course, the most active ones were the younger generation. Did you know that a young genius appeared in Cloud State? Cloud State? Are you kidding? What kind of genius can appear in that place? Some of the new disciples did not believe it. Immediately, someone told them about the battle between Lin Xian and Song Bao. Many people were shocked. Of course, not everyone admired Lin Xian. The disciples of the Tsang family did not. They could not wait to eat Lin Xian. Some of the top experts on the hidden dragon roll were also indifferent. To them, whether it was Tsang Bao or Lin Xian, they were not enough to arouse their interest. Their goal was to become a martial arts genius. Lin Xian stayed in the ice snow courtyard and did not come out. He rejected many people who came to visit him. In these 2 days, he continued to consolidate his lightning technique and merged it with the power of wind and lightning. Now his strength had improved again. He had comprehended about 40% of the Wind Emperor's sword and 30% of the lightning technique. His soul power had also improved. However, his sword intent had reached a bottleneck and could not reach the small success stage. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, it was time to head to the snow-seeking sect. Lin Xian walked out of his room and met up with Elder Duanmu and the rest. There were a total of 5 elders and 10 disciples heading to the snow-seeking sect. Lin Xian's arrival attracted everyone's attention. Among them, Elder Duanmu was surprised. After not seeing him for 5 days, Lin Xian's aura had become stronger again. This was not because his cultivation had increased, but because there was a hidden power in his body that could explode at any time. He is indeed a genius. This kind of person will laugh at the world sooner or later, Elder Duanmu exclaimed in his heart. Everyone is here. Let's go. Elder Duanmu waved his sleeve, and a white jade ship appeared in the sky. Lin Xian sighed. The last time he rode the white jade ship was when he went to the bloody trial grounds. In the blink of an eye, a few months had passed, and he was no longer the pulse condensation stage brat. A group of people boarded the ship and rushed towards the snow-seeking sect. Wuji! Wuji! The little white monkey woke up on Lin Xian's shoulder. It rubbed its eyes and cried out. The eyes of Murong Qianling and the other female disciples lit up as they looked at the little white monkey with starry eyes. Whoosh! The snow-white monkey's body flashed and disappeared from Lin Xian's shoulder. Lin Xian was slightly stunned. He realized that the little white monkey's figure had disappeared. "It's in my storage ring," said Lord Alcohol via voice transmission. Lin Xian probed with his soul force. Sure enough, he discovered the figure of the snow-white monkey. However, his heart suddenly trembled. This isn't a spiritual pet storage ring. This little thing is magical. You can't use common sense to judge it, Lord Alcohol said with a smile. Hearing this, the little white monkey raised its head and made a face at the void. He can sense our presence? Lin Xian was alarmed. It was fine if the monkey could sense him, but if it could also sense Lord Alcohol, it would be heaven-defying. The little white monkey showed a disdainful expression. Then it grabbed the green eggshell and ate it. Lin Xian was speechless. He realized that this little thing really couldn't be judged with common sense. Ignoring the little white monkey, Lin Xian looked around. The snow-seeking sect was located on a snowy mountain. None of the buildings were made of ice. There were ice halls, ice palaces, ice bridges, and even an ice river that surrounded the mountain. The white jade ship flew quickly and soon arrived at the periphery of the snow-seeking sect. Lin Xian felt that the surrounding spiritual energy had become denser. It was several times purer than in the mysterious heaven sect. As everyone knew, the denser the spiritual energy was, the faster a martial artist's cultivation would be. For example, the disciples of the mysterious heaven sect cultivated faster than martial artists from other places in the Cloud Prefecture. However, compared to the snow-seeking sect, it was much worse. In the Xia country, the few large spiritual veins were all occupied by the top forces. Among them, the three strongest forces were the Sword Pool Mansion, the Earthfire sect, and the Blue Moon sect. And now, the snow-seeking sect had also become one of the top forces. When they arrived at the mountain gate of the snow-seeking sect, Elder Duanmu controlled the white jade ship to descend slowly. There were many martial artists at the mountain gate. The arrival of Lin Xian and the rest attracted many people's attention. So, it's Taoist friends from the mysterious heaven sect. Please come in. A long-faced old man smiled and invited Duanmu and the rest in. Behind them, a martial artist whispered, "They're actually from the mysterious heaven sect. I wonder which one of them is Lin Xian." It's useless even if you know. Those who can participate in the snow-seeking sect's grand meeting are all overlords. The younger generation here are the real geniuses. They're not people like Song Bao and Lin Xian can compare to. The few of them whispered among themselves. They were somewhat disdainful of Lin Xian. Elder Duanmu and the rest were led in. The elders had to go to the main hall to discuss some matters and were temporarily separated from Lin Xian and the rest. Lin Xian and the rest of the younger generation were led around by the snow-seeking sect's disciples. Everyone follow me. I'm sure you've never seen a large sect before. I'll show you around. The snow-seeking sect's disciple who received Lin Xian and the rest had an arrogant expression. It was no wonder. The snow-seeking sect had been promoted to a 3-star sect, while Lin Xian and the rest were just small martial artists from a 1-star sect. The gap between the two was too big. Lin Xian didn't care. Ever since he saw a genius like Shen Jingqiu, his horizons had been broadened. His martial Dao goal was higher and further. Moreover, he was born in the Sword Pool Mansion. The place where he lived was even stronger than the snow-seeking sect. Therefore, he only smiled at such words. However, the faces of Morong Qianling and the rest were a little ugly. Many of them were livid and angry. Everyone is usually cultivating. Now that we finally have time to rest, let's take it as a sightseeing tour. Lin Xian smiled at the crowd. Senior brother, thank you for your trouble. The snow-seeking sect's disciple looked at Lin Xian in surprise and then led the way. It had to be said that this place was indeed unique. There were buildings made of ice and snow everywhere. There were snow trees planted on the side of the road. Lin Xian had snow beasts roaming around. It was like a snow wonderland. It's you. A cry of surprise was heard. Lin Xian turned around and saw a handsome young man with a sword standing on the side of the road. Senior brother Yin. The snow-seeking sect's disciple said, respectfully, this young man was called Yin Shaoli. He had met Lin Xian once in Yunzhou. So, it's brother Yin. Lin Xian cupped his fists and said, all right, I'll take care of this. You can go do other things. Yin Shaoli said to the disciple. Then he smiled at Lin Xian and said, please. Yin Shaoli's attitude was quite polite. Everyone's expression eased a lot. Along the way, they visited many places and left a lot of laughter. The Plum Blossom Pavilion is up ahead. I'll take you there. Yin Shaoli led the way and walked forward. It was a garden with many different types of plum blossoms. There were plum blossoms of all shapes and colors. It could be said that it was a scenic spot of the snow-seeking sect. There were many people in the garden. Most of them were from the younger generation. Among them, there were more than 10 figures sitting in the pavilion, enjoying the plum blossoms and the snow. Junior brother Yin, you're here too. One of the people in the pavilion smiled. I brought my friends from the Black Heavens sect to enjoy the scenery. I didn't expect senior brother Huang to be here too. Hearing that it was a Black Heavens sect's disciple, the people in the pavilion were surprised and turned around. Brett, it's you. One of them stared coldly at Lin Xian. Chapter 180. There was a young man in the pavilion who was staring at Lin Xian coldly. The young man had a powerful qi. There was a sword mark between his eyebrows that looked like a sharp sword. It's you. Lin Xian was a little surprised. He had fought with the young man before, but he didn't expect to see him here. Is Lin Feng here too? Lin Xian looked around quickly, but he didn't see Lin Feng. Junior Yin, this is... Huang Qing noticed something was wrong and asked quickly. Yin Shaoli also noticed the young man's cold eyes. He quickly said, this is Lin Xian. Nice to meet you. Lin Xian cupped his fist and said, Lin Xian? I've never heard of him. A girl in purple next to the young man sneered. This is the Garden of Plum Appreciation. Not just anyone can enter. It was obvious that the girl in purple and the young man were in cahoots. Everyone else was watching with a smile on their faces as if they were waiting to watch a good show. The disciples of the Xian Tian sect blushed with shame and anger. Lin Xian raised his eyebrows and sneered, I don't see any Tom, Dick, or Harry, but I see 2 lackeys. The crowd was a little surprised. They didn't know what Lin Xian meant. Aren't you 2 Lin Feng's lackeys? Lin Xian looked at the young man and the girl in purple and asked. The people in the pavilion were stunned, and the surrounding cultivators were in an uproar. Did this guy know who the cultivators in the pavilion were? He was too arrogant. Boy, you're courting death. I'm going to tear your mouth apart. The young man and the girl in purple were furious. They were noble, and no one had ever dared to talk to them like that. But this young man from Yunzhou, a disciple of a 1-star sect, dared to talk to them like that. 2 attacks quickly flew towards Lin Xian. One was sword qi, and the other was a palm of light. Ka, ka, ka. Lin Xian's expression changed slightly. Just as he was about to move, frost scattered in the air, and a wave of energy was transmitted. The speed of the sword qi and the palm of light slowed down, and a layer of frost appeared on them before they were finally frozen. A huge block of ice appeared in front of Lin Xian. It was 2 meters tall and as smooth as a mirror. No one had expected such a thing to happen. The young man with the sword mark and the girl in purple turned gloomy at once. Huang Chang and Yin Shaoli looked into the distance with reverence and said respectfully, "Greetings, senior sister Shui." In the plum garden, there was a white figure that seemed to blend in with the surroundings. Fighting is not allowed in the plum garden. I hope that everyone will restrain themselves. The woman's voice was cold and emotionless. The young man and the girl in purple seemed to have thought of something. Their expressions changed again and again. In the end, they both squeezed out a smile. "So it's the ice fairy. We've been rude. Fairy, don't worry. We won't fight in the plum garden." The ice fairy, the disciples of the Black Heavens sect exclaimed. Lin Xian was also a little stunned. He was no longer an ignorant young man. He had heard of the ice fairy. She was a genius in the top 10 of the Hidden Dragon leaderboard. Her cultivation was unfathomable. The young man with the sword mark and the girl in purple glared at Lin Xian before slowly sitting down. Lin Xian shrugged and led the crowd to enjoy the plum garden. The jade butterfly plum hasn't bloomed yet this year. In the plum garden, the beautiful figure sighed faintly. The girl in purple in the pavilion said sweetly, "Sister, don't worry. Young Master Feng is quite knowledgeable about plum flowers. When young Master Feng is free tomorrow, Sister will be able to see the jade butterfly plum bloom." "And you still say you're not a lackey," Lin Xian muttered softly. Although his voice was soft, it was still clearly heard by everyone. The surrounding martial artists were slightly stunned. They wanted to laugh, but didn't dare to. The girl in purple had a dark face, and her chest was heaving up and down. She was pissed off by Lin Xian. Whoosh! The snow-white monkey jumped out and stood on Lin Xian's shoulder. It held its belly and made funny faces at the girl in purple from time to time. PFFF! Finally, someone couldn't help but laugh. This young man was interesting. Even his monkey was so good. "Sister, I think it's necessary to let some small fries from the countryside go out so they don't ruin your mood." The girl in purple stared at Lin Xian as she gnashed her teeth in anger. In the plum garden, the beautiful figure looked over. Her clear eyes were like the source of ice. The disciples behind Lin Xian shivered as if they had fallen into an ice cave. Murong Qianling pulled Lin Xian's sleeve and whispered, "Junior brother Lin, why don't we go?" The disciples of the Black Sky sect were scared. The people here were too high level. They were all elites on the Hidden Dragon leaderboard. They were not used to it. Lin Xian smiled and comforted them. "Why wait for Lin Feng? If you want to enjoy the plum blossoms, I can make it happen immediately." Lin Xian's words shocked everyone again. This young man was too heaven-defying. He dared to say anything. Not only were the surrounding cultivators dizzy, but Yin Shaoli and Huang Cheng also felt dizzy. Huang Cheng glared at Yin Shaoli. The latter looked like he was about to cry. "Well, brother Lin, why don't we go?" Yin Shaoli whispered, "I'll go somewhere else." "Go? Why should we go? Don't tell me you don't want to see the plum blossoms?" Everyone was speechless. The sword-mark youth and the girl in purple wanted to bite Lin Xian. "Humph, you country bumpkin. Have you seen a mutated plum blossom before?" The girl in purple sneered, "You dare to lie to the ice fairy. I think the seniors of the Snow Seek sect will not forgive you." "Lie? How did I lie?" Lin Xian looked innocent. "Isn't it just the jade butterfly plum?" "I promise I can make it bloom." The ice fairy frowned. She stared at Lin Xian as if she was thinking about something. Isn't it just the jade butterfly plum? The girl in purple laughed angrily. This plum blossom is only found in a few places in the Great Xia. Even young Master Feng is not 100% sure. How can you be so sure? That's because you don't know. Lin Xian said indifferently, Lin Feng is not a god. What he can't do doesn't mean that others can't. At least I can do it. Lin Xian looked at the two in the pavilion and said slowly, why don't we make a bet? Bet? What bet? The girl in purple asked subconsciously. Let's bet if I can make the jade butterfly plum bloom. Lin Xian said in a deep voice, if I can't do it, you can do whatever you want with me. But if I can do it, Lin Xian looked at her with a playful expression. What do you want? The girl in purple crossed her arms and asked nervously, if I can do it, you have to shout, young Master Xian, I was wrong. I won't do it again. What do you think? You. The girl in purple was so angry that her whole body was shaking. I'll bet with you. I will skin you alive. What about you? Lin Xian looked at the sword-marked teenager. Seeing Lin Xian so calm, the sword-marked teenager was a bit scared. However, he did not believe that Lin Xian could make the jade butterfly plum bloom. I'll bet with you. The sword-marked teenager sneered. As long as Lin Xian lost, the autumn scar sword would be his. Fairy, can I try? Lin Xian walked towards the ice fairy with a smile. Chapter 181. When Lin Xian was 30 feet away from Snow Fairy, he felt a sense of pressure. At the same time, there was a bone-chilling coldness. He stopped and waited for Snow Fairy's answer. The snow-white monkey on his shoulder was also waiting. Its black, gem-like eyes were filled with curiosity. Can you really make the jade butterfly plum bloom? Snow Fairy asked. Lin Xian nodded and smiled confidently. Behind him, many warriors surrounded him. They also wanted to see the legendary jade butterfly plum bloom. The sword-marked youth and purple-clothed girl stood in the crowd and looked coldly at Lin Xian. Humph! Country bumpkin, do you know which jade butterfly plum is? The purple-clothed girl mocked. If you can't find it, then get lost. Don't lie to Snow Fairy. The sword-marked youth shouted coldly. Snow Fairy didn't stop them this time. Instead, she said indifferently, as long as you can find the real jade butterfly plum, I can let you try. Lin Xian smiled indifferently. All right. Then he looked at the plum blossoms nearby. There were dozens of unbloomed plum blossoms around him, but only one of them was the real jade butterfly plum. Everyone focused and waited for Lin Xian to make his move. Lord Alcohol's voice sounded in Lin Xian's mind. Kid, I don't know any jade butterfly plum. You can only rely on yourself. Don't worry, Lord Alcohol. Lin Xian transmitted his voice. He paced back and forth in the plum blossom forest and said slowly, there used to be a jade butterfly plum in my yard. Keep bragging. How can there be a jade butterfly plum in Cloud State? The purple-clothed girl retorted. Lin Xian ignored her and continued, my mother planted it. Every winter, it would bloom into a jade butterfly plum. When you're lucky, it might even turn into a butterfly. Lin Xian's voice was low, but the scene he described made everyone yearn for it. Snow Fairy's eyes flickered with a hint of excitement. She knew that Lin Xian must have seen the jade butterfly plum bloom, because very few people knew about it. Do you know the story of the jade butterfly plum? Lin Xian suddenly asked. Everyone was stunned and shook their heads. They had only heard of this kind of exotic plum, but they didn't know the specifics. Snow Fairy's expression changed slightly. She knew, but with her temperament, she definitely wouldn't say it out loud. Lin Xian didn't say anything else. Instead, he stopped in front of a plum tree. This was a very ordinary plum tree, so ordinary that no one paid attention to it. Everyone was surprised. They didn't expect the legendary jade butterfly plum to be so ordinary. How could it be this one? The purple-clothed girl sneered. Unexpectedly, Ice Fairy said indifferently, "You may begin." "What? It's really this one," everyone exclaimed in surprise. There was a faint trace of excitement in their hearts. The purple-clothed girl's face was burning. She gritted her teeth and said, "It must be a wild guess." "I don't believe that you can make the jade butterfly tree bloom." The young man frowned. He had a bad feeling. It was his intuition as a swordsman. Everyone craned their necks, wanting to know how Lin Xian was going to make the jade butterfly plum blossom. Ice Fairy was also looking forward to it. She was actually a little nervous in her heart. Lin Xian looked at the budding flower bud and slowly walked forward. Lin Xian touched it gently with his fingertips and began to draw on it. He was very fast. In the blink of an eye, butterfly-like shapes appeared on several flower buds. Lin Xian didn't stop. He finished drawing all the flower buds. "It's done," Lin Xian said. "What? That's it?" Everyone was stunned. They couldn't believe it. "You just drew a few butterflies, and you think it's the jade butterfly plum? What a joke!" The purple-clothed girl shouted. "I hope you can still be so loud when you admit your mistake." Lin Xian stared coldly at the purple-clothed girl. After that, he ignored her and looked at Ice Fairy. "Fairy, use your heart to communicate with it." Everyone was suspicious. They all felt that Lin Xian was a fraud. However, Ice Fairy seemed to believe Lin Xian. She walked in front of the jade butterfly plum, pressed her palms together, and slowly closed her eyes. Everyone waited, unsure of what Ice Fairy was thinking. Moments later, specks of light suddenly lit up like fireflies. Following that, the light grew brighter and brighter like moonlight. It was intoxicating. One flower bud after another gradually bloomed. The shape of the petals was like a fluttering butterfly. "It's opening! It's opening! It's really opening!" Everyone exclaimed. "Impossible! This is impossible!" The purple-clothed girl kept repeating, as though she couldn't believe it. Sword Mark's face turned black as well. He even had the urge to escape. Ice Fairy opened her eyes and looked at the blooming jade butterfly plum. She was speechless for a long time. Suddenly, the flowers spread their wings as butterflies of light flew out and danced in the air. Butterfly dance. So it really does exist. Frost Fairy was dumbfounded. Lin Xian looked at the jade butterflies that filled the sky and sighed inwardly. He was somewhat homesick. In this world, only by possessing great strength can you protect your loved ones. Lord Alcohol reminded him. Lin Xian nodded and became even more determined on his martial path. After a long while, the jade butterflies in the air disappeared and transformed into jade-like flowers that bloomed in the garden. Lin Xian turned his head and looked at Sword Mark and the purple-clothed girl. You. The purple-clothed girl looked flustered. Her arrogance from before was gone. Sword Mark's face was gloomy. He wished he could find a hole to hide in. "The two of you, I believe our bet still stands, right?" Lin Xian asked indifferently. "Weren't you shouting very loudly just now? Continue shouting now." The Black Heaven sect disciples felt relieved. The purple-clothed girl's face turned red as she was about to cry. She was filled with regret. Why did she have to go against Lin Xian? If the heavens gave her another chance, she would definitely stay far away from Lin Xian. It would be best if they never met again. As a disciple of a large family, saying such words in front of so many people made the purple-clothed girl want to die. In the end, her face turned red and she fainted from anger. Plop! The purple-clothed girl fell to the ground. "What about you? Do you choose to faint or shout?" Lin Xian asked in a deep voice. Sword Mark clenched his fists tightly. He wished he could fight Lin Xian to the death. However, He was the eldest disciple of the Golden Sword sect and someone with status in the pugilistic world. Now that he was in front of so many people, he couldn't do anything. Moreover, if he escaped, he would be too ashamed to face anyone in the future. If he begged for mercy, he would be too ashamed to face anyone. In the end, he chose the same method as the purple-clothed girl and fainted. However, he didn't faint out of anger. Instead, he used his spiritual power to knock himself out. He probably never dreamed that he would end up like this. Awesome. The Black Heaven sect disciples were overjoyed as they roared in their hearts. Lin Xian was also smiling. He was very satisfied with the outcome of dealing with two experts without making a move. Who knows them? Carry them out. Lying here will ruin my mood. Lin Xian waved his hand in disgust. In the crowd, Sword Mark's companions were livid as they carried the two away. Lin Xian, right? Not only did you offend the Golden Sword sect and the Yuan clan, but you also offended young Master Feng. Wait for your death. A few young men said coldly. They were all martial artists who followed Lin Xian. At this moment, they were all staring at Lin Xian with murderous intent. Chapter 182. The few warriors left quickly, but there was still a trace of killing intent in the air. The people of the Xiantian sect were worried about Lin Xian. After all, they were all powerful warriors, and there seemed to be Lin Feng's shadow behind them. That was the top existence on the Hidden Dragon ranking. However, everyone noticed that Lin Xian was calm, as if he didn't care about it. After saying goodbye to the ice fairy, Lin Xian and the others left the pavilion. Lin Xian didn't wander around. He went to the residence prepared for them by the snow-seeking sect and closed the door to rest. On the other hand, the news of the Sword Mark youth and the girl in purple fainting from anger was secretly spread. The Golden Sword sect and the Yuan clan were furious. They wanted to kill Lin Xian with one slap. This was definitely a disgrace to them. Two geniuses were actually scared to death by a martial artist in the third layer of the spiritual sea realm. This was too funny. The Lin clan also heard the news, but the name Lin Xian made them even more moved. Many people secretly checked Lin Xian's identity to verify their guesses. In a luxurious and elegant room, a group of well-dressed youths stood around a young man. Brother Feng, Yan Hui, and Yuan Hong fainted from anger. Now the whole snow-seeking sect is talking about it. When Lin Feng heard that, he frowned and said, "Who attacked? Could it be those guys in the top 10? Yan Hui and Yuan Hong were naturally the Sword Mark youth and the girl in purple. They were geniuses in the top 30 of the Hidden Dragon ranking, especially Yan Hui. After the battle with Lin Xian, his cultivation broke through again and reached the 5th layer of the spiritual sea realm. His strength was even stronger. Only the geniuses in the top 10 of the Hidden Dragon ranking could deal with two people at the same time. Neither. It said that a martial artist called Lin Xian did it. The disciple said, quickly, "Crack." The wine cup in Lin Feng's hand was crushed, and the wine inside turned into powder. "Lin Xian." Lin Feng's face darkened. "Don't tell me it's that trash Lin Xian." "I don't think that's possible either. That guy can't cultivate at all. After he was chased out of the clan, there's never been any news of him. How could he appear here? That's right, maybe they have the same name." The disciples of the Lin Xian clan were all discussing amongst themselves. They didn't believe that this was the doing of the Lin Xian they knew. No matter who it is, if he dares to do such a thing, he will definitely die. Another Lin family disciple sneered. "The Golden Sword sect and the Yuan family will not let him go." "Go and investigate. I want to know everything about that person," said Lin Feng. "Don't worry, big brother Feng. We'll do it right away." The disciples quickly left. Lin Xian was cultivating in his room. He didn't relax at all and was constantly improving his strength. Suddenly he opened his eyes. "Kid, there's a powerful aura approaching. Lord Alcohol sent a voice transmission. It should be someone from the Tsang family. Tsang family? How dare they make a move here? Lin Xian's face darkened. It's precisely because no one expected it that they dared to make a move, Lord Alcohol quickly said. This aura should belong to a martial artist in the 7th layer of the spiritual C tier. You better leave quickly. Lin Xian didn't hesitate. He left an afterimage in the room and quickly left. Swoosh! Swoosh! A figure silently scuttled in and turned into a streak of light that quickly charged at Lin Xian. Blue lightning surged out at extreme speed. Pooh! In just a flash, it pierced through Lin Xian. Chi! The afterimage was pierced and turned into a streak of golden lightning. He actually ran. The person who came was an elder of the Tsang family. He frowned and his face was extremely gloomy. Their original plan was to make a sudden move so that no one would be able to guess. However, they didn't expect Lin Xian to be even more cunning than them. He actually left an afterimage in the room. Consider yourself lucky. However, you can't escape from my palm. The elder of the Tsang family planned to wait for Lin Xian to return. He believed that with his strength, taking down Lin Xian would be as easy as drinking water. However, before he could finish sneering, a streak of green gas quickly flew into his body. The elder of the Tsang family had a sinister expression, and his eyes were filled with fear. He kept struggling as if he was drowning. His powerful ability seemed to have lost its effect. After a moment, the elder of the Tsang family stopped breathing and stopped moving, and a green-haired man appeared in the room. It was the person in the bronze coffin. After being scared away by the snow-white monkey, he didn't expect to appear beside Lin Xian again. And Lin Xian didn't notice. This body is just right. The green-haired man's voice was very hoarse. A streak of green gas entered the elder of the Tsang family. Immediately after, the elder of the Tsang family slowly stood up as if he was alive. If one looked carefully, they would be able to see that there was a green glow in his eyes. Jie, the elder of the Tsang family, laughed evilly. His body turned into a streak of light and quickly rushed out. After Lin Xian escaped the room, he heaved a sigh of relief. Damn, the Tsang family. I'll teach you a lesson sooner or later. Lin Xian's eyes were cold as he decided to eliminate the Tsang family in the future. However, just as he took 2 steps, a sense of danger surged in his heart again. Damn it, does he dare to make a move in public? Lin Xian was puzzled, but he didn't slow down. He quickly rushed towards the crowd. Behind him, the aura was still there, tightly locking onto Lin Xian. No, this isn't the aura of the Tsang family elder. Lin Xian was alarmed. This is the aura of the green-haired man. Lin Xian took out the snow-white monkey, hoping to intimidate the figure behind him. However, it didn't work this time. It's useless. That person used a secret technique to possess the body of the Tsang family elder. He's no longer afraid of this, Lord Alcohol said in a deep voice. Find a few powerful people to intimidate him. That's the only way. Lin Xian increased his speed. The strength of the green-haired man was too terrifying. It was far from what he could contend with now. Lin Xian quickly ran towards the residence of the seniors of the Myriad Treasure Tower. He could only rely on external forces. Along the way, Lin Xian's speed alarmed many people. Many people looked at him strangely, not knowing what had happened. After Lin Xian arrived, he learned that the seniors of the Myriad Treasure Tower weren't here. Instead, they had gone to the snow-seeking sect's main hall to discuss matters. Damn it! Lin Xian's heart sank. He felt that the figure behind him was getting bolder, as though he was about to make a move. There's a group of powerful auras to the east. That should be the so-called snow-seeking sect's main hall, Lord Alcohol said. Let's give it a try. Lin Xian held onto a glimmer of hope as he quickly ran over. He raised his speed to the limit as his body transformed into a bolt of lightning and flew over. Behind him, the green-haired man seemed to have sensed Lin Xian's intentions and became abnormally uneasy. He felt that there were many powerful auras in front of him, and a few of them made his heart tremble. With a green light in his eyes, the possessed elder of the Tsang family increased his speed. In the blink of an eye, the distance between the two was shortened. Along the way, many warriors noticed this situation and their expressions changed. Someone actually dares to make a move in the snow-seeking sect. This is too powerful. Moreover, the one being chased seems to be Lin Xian, who has recently become famous. Could it be that someone from the Golden Sword sect or the Yuan family has made a move? Some warriors guessed. Lin Xian used the power of wind and thunder and increased his speed again. He quickly approached the snow-seeking sect's main hall. At this moment, the elder of the Tsang family behind him was less than 10 meters away. A pair of large green palms, which were like mountains, grabbed at Lin Xian. Chapter 183. The cyan hand was like a mountain, mercilessly grabbing at Lin Xian. The Tsang family elder locked onto Lin Xian, making it impossible for him to dodge. It wasn't that Lin Xian was weak, but that the opponent was too strong, almost surpassing a martial artist in the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. Lin Xian took out the yellowed talisman treasure and crazily activated it. Yellow light shone brightly, and a huge sickle suddenly swung out, making a clanging sound. Hong Long Long, the huge sickle, slashed at the cyan hand, creating a sky full of sparks. Lin Xian was shocked, and his body flew out. In an instant, he suffered internal injuries, and the blood in his body felt like it was about to explode. Fortunately, he cultivated the art of longevity and had the protection of the ancient armor, which allowed him to retain a trace of consciousness. The cyan hand was blocked and slowed down, but it quickly knocked the huge sickle away. With a wung sound, it grabbed at Lin Xian again, and that power locked onto him. Ah! Lin Xian used Lion Roar, and the roar shook the sky, scattering the clouds. At the same time, he wore the bronze gauntlet on his left hand and the yellowed talisman treasure in his right, concentrating all the spiritual power in his body into it. A majestic power surged out, and at the same time, there was a trace of vicissitudes of life. Hundreds of meters away, in the great hall of the snow-seeking sect, the elders of various forces were gathered here, discussing something closely. All of a sudden, a powerful wave of energy rippled over. At the same time, there was a sky-shaking roar. Who dares to cause trouble in my snow-seeking sect? The faces of the elders of the snow-seeking sect instantly darkened. They had just been promoted to a 3-star sect, and someone dared to cause trouble here, simply looking down on them. Let's go out and see who it is. The people of the snow-seeking sect were furious. Before they could get out of the cave, an earth-shattering crash was heard, causing the surroundings to shake a little. So. These people quickly rushed out. Outside, Lin Xian's face was pale, and the spiritual power in his body was almost exhausted. He stood with difficulty, and his eyes were filled with madness. Even if he died, he would drag the cyan-haired man down with him. On the other side, the Tsang family's elder who was being controlled didn't feel good either. There was a terrifying hole in his left shoulder, dripping with blood. It was very frightening. Brett, you've angered me. The green-haired man was indeed angry. What kind of status did he have? He was actually injured by a little brat. Just as he was about to make another move, several powerful figures quickly rushed over from the front. The Tsang family elder's expression changed, and the green light in his eyes gradually weakened until it disappeared. He looked just like a normal person, but Lin Xian knew that the Tsang family's elder had died a long time ago, and the current person was the mysterious green-haired man. Which junior dares to cause trouble here? The elder of the snow-seeking sect coldly snorted. His voice was like a thunder god that shook the heavens, causing Lin Xian to feel dizzy. Fortunately, his soul force was strong enough to withstand this pressure. Around them, many martial artists held their breaths and watched nervously. Just now, they had witnessed the fight between Lin Xian and the Tsang family elder. That kind of scene made their hearts tremble. "Tsang Yuan, you're injured!" The great elder of the Tsang family exclaimed from behind. He naturally knew what happened, but he didn't expect Tsang Yuan to make a move in front of so many people. Moreover, what surprised him even more was that Tsang Yuan was injured. "Snow Elder, let me take down this brat." The great elder of the Tsang family's eyes flashed, and he quickly made his move. He wanted to make his move before everyone knew the truth. A powerful, harmonious spirit realm aura was released, and the great elder of the Tsang family mercilessly made his move. The great heavenly hand covered the sky like a dark cloud, enveloping Lin Xian. "Tsang family, if I don't die, I'll erase your name from this world forever." Lin Xian suddenly turned his head, and a sword light flashed in his eyes. He couldn't escape. Facing a harmonious spirit realm expert, he had no chance of escaping. Sigh, Lord Alcohol sighed slightly, and his eyes gradually became sharp, as if a supreme expert had awakened. Suddenly, he seemed to have sensed something, and that powerful aura suddenly disappeared. The moment Lin Xian turned his head, a few of the elders in the sky exclaimed. Among them were Elder Duanmu of the Profound Heaven Sect and Elder Gu of the Myriad Treasure Tower. However, most of them were the elders of the Lin family. Boom! Just as the great elder of the Tsang family made his move, a glaring sword light shone in all directions. The ice and snow between heaven and earth flew backward, and the clouds in the sky tumbled. Hundreds of meters of sword chi crisscrossed, connecting heaven and earth, and endless killing intent filled the air. The sword chi flew and slashed towards the great elder of the Tsang family. Ah! A mournful scream rang out, making people's scalps go numb. A pillar of blood spurted out, and the great elder of the Tsang family heavily crashed into the ground. Rumble! 100-meter wide crater appeared on the ground, and countless cracks spread in all directions. All of this happened too suddenly. Everyone was stunned. A majestic figure walked down from the sky step by step, looking disdainfully at the surroundings. The elders of the snow-seeking sect hurriedly used their spirit energy to stop the cracks from spreading. At the same time, more people looked at the voice in the sky. This was a majestic man with a determined expression. His figure was tall and straight, like a sharp sword that pierced through heaven and earth. On his sleeve, an ancient sword was embroidered, inserted into an ancient pond. This was the symbol of the Sword Pool Palace. Why? Below, the Tsang family's elder was covered in blood, and his eyes were filled with unwillingness. They were both in the harmonious spirit realm, but the gap between him and the man in the sky was too big. "Why did you stop me? My Tsang family has never offended the Sword Pool Palace." The great elder of the Tsang family gasped for breath and roared. In all directions, the eyes of the Tsang family's disciples and elders were also filled with unwillingness and fear. "Why?" In midair, the majestic man said sternly, "Who dares to touch my Lin family die?" Lin family, everyone was stunned, and they looked at Lin Xian. Could it be that Lin Xian was from the Sword Pool Palace? In midair, the majestic man continued, "Who dares to touch my nephew? That's an additional crime. All of you will have to suffer the pain of 10,000 swords piercing your hearts." What? Nephew? Everyone was stunned, and they felt that their minds were blank. The people of the Tsang family were even more stunned. The brat they killed was obviously a warrior from the Cloud Prefecture. When did he become a disciple of the Sword Pool Palace? Moreover, he wasn't an ordinary disciple of the Sword Pool Palace. They recognized the man in the sky. He was a peerless expert of the Sword Pool Palace. Lin Zheng, second Master Lin. Lin Xian was the nephew of the second Master Lin, and the people of the Tsang family felt like dying. Misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. The great elder of the Tsang family struggled to stand up and tried his best to explain. Second Master Lin, this is a misunderstanding. Listen to me. Before he could finish his words, Lin Zheng looked at the elder of the Tsang family who attacked him. His eyes were sharp, and it was as if 10,000 swords were rushing out. Ah! The elder of the Tsang family, who was possessed by the green-haired man, cried out in pain. His body was full of sword holes. In an instant he was pierced by 10,000 swords, like a hedgehog. No one noticed that a mass of green aura quickly left the elder of the Tsang family and disappeared into the ground. Who dares to touch my nephew? This is the outcome. Chapter 184. Everyone felt a chill that was even colder than the wind and snow in this world. The rest of the Tsang family's disciples were shivering, and many of them fainted. However, Second Master Lin did not attack the ordinary Sea of Soul Realm disciples. He only stared at the heavily injured Tsang family's great elder. The Tsang family's great elder went crazy as he looked at the sky with pleading eyes. He did not want to die. He was only a little over 100 years old. According to the lifespan of a harmonious spirit expert, he had only lived half of his life. There were many more years waiting for him to enjoy. How could he die here? However, he did not have the confidence to face second Master Lin in the sky. This is our Tsang family's fault. We are willing to compensate with everything we have. The Tsang family's great elder said humbly, Second Master Lin, please calm down. Why not? The people beside him began to persuade him. Lin Zheng did not pay attention to them and landed on the ground. Second uncle, Lin Xian murmured, You have grown up. Lin Zheng's eyes shone brightly. You can finally cultivate. That year, second uncle was useless and could not protect you. But from now on, no one will dare to touch a single hair of yours. Lin Xian looked at the majestic man in front of him with excitement in his heart. His life and death is in your hands. Lin Zheng pointed at the heavily injured great elder and said. Everyone looked at Lin Xian. The Tsang family's great elder was ashamed and angry at the same time. He did not expect that his fate would be in the hands of a young man. He was a dignified, harmonious spirit expert. However, under the current situation, he could only lower his head and admit his mistake. Young Hero Lin, I have eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. I hope young Hero Lin will not hold a grudge against me. Everyone was in a daze. They could not believe the scene in front of them. Second uncle let him go. Lin Xian said indifferently. Everyone was surprised. They did not know what Lin Xian was planning. Could it be that he was soft-hearted? The Tsang family's great elder's heart was burning. As long as he could escape from this disaster, he would have plenty of chances to assassinate Lin Xian in the future. I want to end his life myself. Lin Xian's voice was like a sharp blade piercing through the clouds. An invisible domineering aura soared to the sky. Arrogant, too arrogant. A warrior at the third level of the spiritual sea realm actually dared to threaten to slaughter a harmonious spirit realm warrior. This was practically a dream. No one believed Lin Xian's words, but Lin Zheng laughed out loud. As expected of a man from the Lin clan, you are indeed courageous. I'll leave this old dog's life to you. I believe that you'll be able to do it in no time. Everyone was speechless. This pair of father and son were too confident. The Tsang family head elder's old face swelled to the color of a pig's liver. He secretly swore in his heart that, in a while, he would definitely tear Lin Xian to shreds. Right at this moment, a cold voice sounded out. Lin Zheng, you seem to have forgotten something. This brat has been expelled from his family. Everyone was stunned once again. They felt that their brains were not enough to process this. You think you can expel me just because you say so? Lin Zheng stared ahead. The patriarch of Swordpool Manor isn't you, Lin Lin. This is the decision of the elders. Could it be that you want to go against it? Lin Lin sneered. He was not afraid of Lin Zheng. Lin Xian looked at the middle-aged man. There was a ball of fire burning in his heart. That middle-aged man was Lin Xian's father. He was also the one who secretly kicked Lin Xian out of the family. Suppressing the anger in his heart, Lin Xian said in a deep voice, "Second uncle, don't worry. In the family meeting 1 year later, I will return to the family in a grand manner. I will take back all the things that originally belonged to me." Lin Xian did not say the sentence, but this was his goal. "Second uncle believes in you." Lin Zheng patted Lin Xian's shoulder and revealed a gratified smile. Originally, Lin Xian could not cultivate, causing a crisis to appear in their family. But now everything will be fine. Lin Zheng did not leave immediately. Instead, he said to the crowd, "According to the rules of the martial arts world, if the younger generation is injured or even killed in a spar, I, Lin Zheng, will not say anything. However, if someone doesn't care about their status and attacks the younger generation, don't blame me for being impolite." This was a warning to Lin Xian to avoid a lot of potential dangers. All right, the matter has been resolved. Let's continue our discussion. The elder of the snow-seeking sect said. The group of elders left one after another and returned to the main hall. Lin Zheng said a few words and then stood up and left. The great elder of the Tsang clan looked deeply at Lin Xian and then left with the help of the crowd. Lin Xian didn't stop either, as he quickly rushed to his residence. After he left, the news of his disappearance spread like wildfire. Almost everyone knew about Lin Xian's identity. When Lin Feng heard this, his face became extremely gloomy. "Even though I don't know how you can cultivate, a piece of trash will always be a piece of trash. I will personally kill you." When the others heard this, they were all stunned. They knew that Lin Xian was not ordinary, but they never thought that he would be a disciple of the Sword Lake Palace. Lin Xian returned to his room and closed the door. He was now in a hurry. In a year, he would return to the Sword Lake Palace and take back everything that belonged to him. Before that, he still had to be on guard against all kinds of plots. The Tsang clan would not let the matter rest, and Lin Feng's lineage would probably secretly make a move. Only with powerful strength could he deal with everything. Now that he had comprehended about 40% of the Wind inheritance, he could barely use the Wind Emperor's sword. In terms of thunder, it was also about 40%, and he could not improve it for the time being. In terms of soul power, it was also progressing step by step. However, to reach the level of a second-grade inscription master was not something that could be done in a short period of time. It was even more difficult to improve his sword intent. All he could do now was to fully fuse the power of wind and thunder. As long as he could fuse the power of wind and thunder, his strength would immediately increase. With Lord Alcohol's guidance, Lin Xian began to fuse the power of wind and thunder. In the blink of an eye, 5 days had passed. Lin Xian's room was very quiet. There was not the slightest movement. In the past few days, many people had come to visit, but they were all blocked by the array in the room. Only Lu Yang and Wei Wei were still waiting outside. On this day, an aura suddenly surged out of the quiet room. Wind and clouds surged, thunder and lightning intertwined as a terrifying aura filled the air. However, this aura only existed for a moment before quickly disappearing. Lu Yang and Wei Wei looked at each other and stood up. Not long after, the defensive array was removed and a delicate youth walked out. On his shoulder, a snow-white monkey was jumping happily. "Junior brother Lin, you're finally out." Wei Wei smiled. Don't tell me you've been waiting here for a long time. Lin Xian asked as he rubbed his nose. Wei Wei rolled her eyes at him. You're a famous person now. You don't know how many people were at your door 2 days ago. Lin Xian, all right, we're here to tell you that there's a celebration tomorrow. We hope you can attend it with us. Celebration? Lin Xian clearly wasn't interested. I heard that the heroes of the younger generation are all here. There will definitely be a lot of sparring, Lu Yang said. Sparring? Lin Xian's interest was piqued. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.